Showtime.
And now your Kissin' 99.3 news headlines from WRBL News 3.
You're listening to the SportsVisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Good Wednesday morning and welcome everybody to another edition of the SportsVisions Morning Show. I am Walter and Betty Jones's baby boy, Daryl DJ Jones, Coach Larry Bush's grandson, the Thrifter, Thrift Barringer, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Thrift.
Great morning, DJ. Ready to rock and roll this hump day.
Absolutely. Hump day is a little damp this hump day, but again, Thrift, obviously, we hope that everything kind of slows down a little bit so that you can get on the road after the show and head down to the Gump.
Yeah, head into Montgomery. Got state championship series in the morning, and then Glenwood, Prattville semifinal or Final Four, whatever you want to call it, this afternoon / evening.
Good Wednesday morning once again to everybody out there that's listening. We appreciate you joining us. But first and foremost, let's say hello to everybody out there in Facebook land that eventually, if they're not already on, they're going to be joining us here over the next few hours, that we will be here to inform, educate, and entertain you on the goings on in the world of sports. We appreciate you. We don't take it for granted. We just thank you so much for being able to allow us to help you start your day. And we're midweek through already.
Yeah, already. Can you believe it, DJ? It goes by so fast. Before you know it, we're going to be in the weekend.
Absolutely, absolutely. But also, for folks out there, I just want you to make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that the SportsVisions Morning Show is on the air now. And for all of our lovely friends out there in WLTC HD2 SportsVisions 92.1 land, we love you, but it ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Hello.
Go ahead. I was going to join you.
And then literally, you heard the frog coming out.
All right, let me try it from the top. All right, we love you, but it ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Hello, somebody. There it goes.
There we go. Obviously, that was the first time that ever happened, huh? Your voice ever went out of the 550,000 episodes that we've ever had?
Man. It's like that frog always comes up at the worst time.
So, again, as far as the allergies, I know when the pollen was here several weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, now that it's kind of pretty much all behind us. What you still got the residual effects?
DJ, that's the one thing that people that do have allergies as bad as me understand is that, pollen seasons for maybe a month or two, but for us allergy people, that lasts all the way until the fall. Like I won't lose this cough. I'm taking Allegra D. I'm taking any over-the-counter medicine you're supposed to. I'm trying to drink as much water. It does not matter. It's gonna make its way up. And let me miss taking my medicine one day, DJ. Let me miss not drinking as much water. It's like I just got punched in the face with all the allergies. So it don't matter.
I just think it's outstanding that the fact that you have so many games to call, you have a show to do. I mean, it's just a lot going on. And you know what? Very seldom do I actually see the ill effects of it. And again, I guess that's a tribute to the medicine that you do take.
And also when I get home and try not to do any extra yelling either, DJ.
So you save your voice.
Got to save my voice because if not, it will definitely take a toll. When I did the Campus Academy field day, obviously there was a lot of yelling because I'm in charge. I'm the coach, and the kids got to pay attention. That one did take a toll on me because I ended up calling a Lions game that night, and I could hear it towards the end of the game, like, oh, it's about to give out right now. So got to take care of your voice out there, ladies and gentlemen. If not, it will go out on you.
It will indeed. I tell you what, we got a heck of a lineup again today. And again, we got some congratulations to go out. Let me just give the lineup first and foremost. We're going to give you, we got Sue Walton is going to join us in this morning. And again, she's just an outrageously credentialed accolades, whatever you want to say, award-winning athlete from Columbus, Georgia. And of course, she was a star at George Washington Carver High School, female athlete extraordinaire. She went on to the university, actually Ohio State University with her brother. She went there first on a scholarship. And it was a little cold up there, but she was so spectacular and so nationally recognized and known that she could take her talents from Ohio State because she felt it was too cold to the Tennessee Volunteers track program, which, you know, she was a 9-time All-American, ladies and gentlemen, at the University of Tennessee. And again, those of you in the track world, of those of you who have any understanding of the track as far as collegiately, Sue Walton is was just a phenom. She was a sprinter. She was a jumper. She was on the relay teams, and just a terrific athlete. But of course, it ends up being that all the great athletes, all the people that do the right things, all the people that have the right networks, they end up raising a great family and become married and become great citizens. And Sue is, of course, the mother of three. She has two daughters that are play college basketball, and her son has also have played. She's got two. Actually, her son now has just actually accepted an offer to play college football. And her husband is a professional football coach. So that's a accomplished family. But anyway, we'll hear from Sue, and we'll have an opportunity to enjoy that coming up in just a little bit. Clifford Storey is a great coach, father as well. He is an athletic director at Lanett High School, and he had a couple of sons that played for him. One played for the University of Alabama, one plays for Auburn. And it's going to be interesting to talk about how he was able to, of course, raise his boys and, of course, continue his career. And that's always interesting.
Yeah, and he also won 2 state championships while at Lanett, too, in 2017
yes.
and 2019. So can't wait to have Coach Storey on and what he did at Lanett, a small high school out there in Valley, Alabama, but still is one of the more powerful programs we got.
Absolutely. Looking forward to talking to Coach Storey. And again, the voice of the Columbus Clingstones with a big victory last night. The Stones win. Stones win.
Finally.
Right. That's right. Yeah, the voice of the Columbus Clingstones, Jack Johnson, will join us at 8:30. And we'll have an opportunity to catch up not only with Jack, but again, the most recent victory for the Clingstones last night. They'll be back at it tonight. And you could catch the game right here at 7:05 on SportsVisions 92.1.
Yep.
And another riff again with regards to the weather forecast, not only for Columbus and the Montgomery areas that, I know that they're on the charts show that it should be some rain going on every day throughout the weekend.
Yeah, if you look, it's not only through the weekend, it's going to next Tuesday. If you look at the radar, there is not a day for the next 6 days. Actually, make that 7 days. Next Wednesday's the next day that it is all sun, that there's not a chance of rain. So make sure everyone take care of yourself out there. But hopefully tonight and then tomorrow, there's going to be scattered, showers throughout the week, and they won't be impeding those Clingstones games.
Yes, indeed. Thrift, take a few minutes if you would. I know that you and Richard have be headed down to Montgomery, but I know Richard is not in the studio because he's going to be headed out in a couple of hours. And I know that again, this is a pretty much a crapshoot with regards to the weather. We don't know what's going to happen, but the fact of the matter is that this game has to be played because again, they can't keep pushing it back, right?
No, they can't, and it's in the AISA state championship. So Lakeside in 1A is playing. Once again, Patrician, and the game's supposed to start 11 Eastern, and then the game 2 is 30 minutes after. And if there's an if necessary, that would be tomorrow. Again, the rain saying it's going to stop by 9. I looked at the Montgomery's radar. They know that in Montgomery. They put the tarp up on that legendary Patterson field. So they're fully expecting to play baseball today. And then also Glenwood takes on Prattville Christian tonight at 5:30 and 8 in Montgomery. That is about 15 minutes from Patterson Field. So once we get done with Lakeside, we're going to grab a quick bite to eat, and we're going to head home down to Prattville and call that semifinal game for 3A. Winner goes to the state championship series. So y'all make sure you pray and it's safe, and there's not a lot of rain, because I know there's going to be a lot of Glenwood fans and community out there supporting later on tonight.
Want to give a shout out to, of course, the new athletic director at Columbus State University. The Cougars have hired Justin Hay as their new leader, the new sheriff in town, the new athletic director. Thrift, we had the opportunity to attend the press conference yesterday, and everything flowed pretty well.
Yeah, it did flow pretty well, and I was impressed from what I've seen so far from Mr. A. Come from Lenore Ryan. He was the big fundraiser guy at Lenore Ryan, who's one of the top Division II programs, regardless of sport. And if you look at baseball, they're ranked like top 5, top 10 this year in the entire country. Did a great job there. So he's coming in at Columbus State trying to obviously raise funds and build the community. I enjoyed being there. You saw his little daughters and his family.
Yeah.
And then his mom and dad. He got emotional when talking about that. So can't wait to see them. And I do want to say shout out to Greg Appleton and the baseball team. He's still up there kicking, rolling, and doing a great job with them. And they had an up and down year this year. Many people thought they were going to be done one and done in the Peach Belt Conference tournament. They have managed to make it to the championship series. On Tuesday night, they scored 12 runs in the 9th inning, being down 9-3 to win that game. It's not about who's the best. It's about who's playing hot. And right now, Columbus State's pretty hot.
Absolutely. We've had an opportunity. We are going to have an opportunity to catch up with Richard Holdred. I thought maybe that he probably would be packing it up, but he's actually ready to roll with us right now.
Yeah.
Let's bring him in. Rich, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what is up, guys? I'm getting ready. My car is actually packed. I'm actually going to take my kids to school, and since Glenwood is actually on the way to Montgomery,
there we go.
I feel like I should probably get there in plenty of time. That trip to Montgomery, we are always making it. Hopefully the weather cooperates, and we should have that first pitch right at 11 o'clock Eastern.
Good deal. Richard, you were at the press conference. I think you might have fired. No, the second question. I thought maybe, but that was Jack Patterson who fired the first question.
He got the second one.
The second one in there. And again, your thoughts on the press conference yesterday? I thought it was handled really, really, really well.
I thought it was very well attended. It was handled very well. I think Justin Hayes is going to go in and do a great job. I mean, the master plan's already in place as far as the successes of the Columbus State athletics. I was very impressed that all the coaches were in attendance. Got to chop it up with Coach Moore, Coach Hauser, Coach Itlick of the soccer team. And, of course, we got an interview with Coach Appleton because, I thought it was really impressive that, the baseball team is still playing. They're graduating this weekend. I thought it was really cool that the baseball players who were seniors got to have a little graduation ceremony. I thought that was very fitting.
That was a classy deal there. And then, because again, they could have very easily snubbed them and said, hey, don't worry about it. But you know what? It just worked out for the best. And it was a great opportunity for the community to see how supportive that the administration is for athletics. And again, bringing in and the new guy and introducing him. And of course, having those student athletes who were not going to be able to participate had their diplomas there and presenting them there, the provost as well as the president. It was that was a classy move.
Yeah, it really was. And when you think of one of the top-notch NCAA Division II programs, you got to think of Columbus State. And I love the vision that Justin Hay has. He's not satisfied with just winning Peach Belt Conference championships. He's wanting to get NCAA championships and actually extending further past the Peach Belt Conference. And you saw it this year with the success of the men and women's basketball teams. And right now the baseball team's still playing, the soccer team making it to the Final Four, tennis, golf, track and field. They're always competing in the Peach Belt. I'm really excited just to see what Justin can bring. And it seems like everything's in place for Columbus State athletics, but we need more support from the community. We obviously need funding, and we really just need to build the brand even more if it hasn't been built up to this point as it has been, because it's been a lot of success.
By the way, I saw, and we all did, Dr. Rayfield, Sue Rayfield, who is the president of the school. That was actually my first time meeting her and seeing her in public like that. So it was awesome to be able to see her. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Columbus State athletics, all the coaches seem excited, and that's all I want. I love those guys, Greg and Coach Moore, Coach Hauser. We support them here on Sports Visions, and I want them to do well. And they need someone at the top that's going to get them the resources. Rich, I do got to say, man, you're cursed. And there's no doubt about it. And the reason I'm saying that, ladies and gentlemen, is because Richard, who is an MVP, but has broadcasted 3 playoff games in a row. Columbus baseball series last week, and then yesterday and on Monday, Columbus boys and girls soccer. They all have lost. So it's like Richard just can't catch a break, DJ.
Richard. Don't do that.
On the bright spot, Shaw played immediately after, because I was packing up. I watched the first half of that Shaw-Jackson game. Shaw won 5-3, and so they're going to the Final Four. And wow. I was able to get an interview with Coach Curtis Moore, the Shaw soccer coach. I really feel like if it was rearranged, maybe we could have live streamed that Shaw game. But I am so proud of Shaw. I know we were hoping for Shaw Columbus in the Final Four, but man, what a game! And Shaw's going to the Final Four. But yeah, tough season for the Columbus boys soccer team and girls as well. But they got to the quarterfinals, and I was just I was really privileged that we were able to live stream those games. It just didn't turn out the way we wanted. They're just playing tough competition.
I'm going to pivot back to Columbus State in the press conference yesterday because I still think that's the top story today, this morning. And, of course, we love what you guys do. But, again, we're just not going to go there just yet. We got plenty of time to talk Georgia, Alabama sports live. But with regards to Columbus State University's athletic program, now, again, you and Thrift both, Richard, have talked about, the success of those athletic programs. But here's the common denominator. We just had an opportunity to meet the brand new athletic director. So what does that mean? There has been some interims in place. So I don't get it. I think that the leadership starts at the top, but if we've had interim leadership, a couple of different people, is that has to be a credit to those people that were filling in or a combination of just some great veteran coaches who know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. The interim ADs that were in place, I mean, they were doing their job, but Columbus State has built a great foundation because the coaches have already been in place and they have coached at a high level and they have had success. I do think that you got a guy that's coming in that is actually getting put into the right situation. And he's done a lot of great things at Lenoir-Rhyne. I wish nothing but the best of success for Justin Hay. I know that I'm familiar with Lenoir-Rhyne because they're in North Carolina, NCAA Division II. Some of our teams have played them in basketball and soccer, and I think that when you have somebody that is not from this area, he's coming in, just getting his feet wet and just trying to hit the ground running and trying to embrace Columbus. That's really what it's all about. He's not from this area. He's been here a couple of days. He is embracing Columbus and soaking it all in and realizing that this is such a great city. And we have got a hidden gem of a college that's NCAA Division II that is just one of the top-notch facilities in the entire country. And it also is one of those that is promising, especially with the talent level here in Columbus, that can compete for years to come at the NCAA level. And who knows? I mean, it could lead to possibly go into FCS, the NCAA Division I. I mean, we've seen West Georgia go to NCAA Division I, and we've seen several Georgia Southern, Georgia State. They all win NCAA Division I. Kennesaw State. Remember, they used to be Columbus State's rival in the Peach Belt, and they would go win that championship in basketball in 2004, and off they went. Kennesaw State goes to NCAA Division I, and they make it the NCAA tournament a decade later. So who knows? Maybe Columbus State might follow that path.
Well, I know that Thrift, when you talk about Coach Hay and everything that he's been involved in, he has to obviously have a somewhat of an initiation period, and of course he has to walk the field, as we like to say, prior to broadcast and kick the tires. And again, his job in my mind as a Division II Columbus State University athletic director, he has to be a major fundraiser. That has to be one of the highest things on his tier, on his list to do, to get done, to get accomplished. He got to find the money, and he's got to bring the money to the program. And I know that based on his experiences, and he has quite a resume. And what I'm more impressive about is the fact that not only has he been instrumental in, of course, live streaming and getting that part of it involved in the sports and games with Lenoir-Rhyne, but the fact of the matter that he has been a part of some $1 million projects, renovation projects, and leading the way, raising money, raising funds. And again, primarily that's his deal. But he just happens to be a former athlete, former baseball player, former coach, who again has taken it a step further. And so his compassion for his coaches, should be there, and it will be there because he has been in their shoes.
Yeah, I agree with that, DJ. And listen, when you're stepping in this job, most time when athletic director, you think the guy that's going to be hiring and firing coaches. He's got a lot of legendary coaches on there that are always at the top of the Peach Belt Conference. So it's not going to be a lot of hiring and firing, man. They got one of the top tennis programs. They got the top golf program in the area. Softball's been perennial winner. Greg Alplin's got a national championship in baseball. You just saw what Coach Moore and Coach Hauser did in basketball. Track and field's always top. It's not like he's got to go and revitalize the program. The programs are there and they're winning. It's bringing the resources, helping grow the community, the sports community, to understand and love Columbus State university athletics and getting corporate people to buy in. And hopefully Justin Hay can understand that, ingratiate himself here in the next couple months, and hit the ground running here in this first season.
I sat there at the press conference, and it was well attended, like you said, Richard. It was very impressed. And again, all the coaches, but all the coaches should be there because they've just bringing in a new boss. And again, with all due respect, unless you had some health issues, if you were on that athletic coaching staff, you needed to be there. But what was impressive, the fact of that he fielded a lot of different questions. But again, it's still, and I wasn't going to hold it out because again, it's a fair question. It's a fair question. It's one that, as a, sportscaster, sports broadcaster, a guy that's been in this community on the radio and on television for a long, long time. I am asking questions on behalf of the community and the folks that follow and support Columbus State. I asked a question about the football program. Would that be on his bucket list? Now, again, I did preface it with regards to all of the things that he had to get done. But, talking about a bucket list and the possibility of down the road, I asked him straight up, were there any thoughts of having a football program, which at Lenore-Ryan, they have a very successful program. Matter of fact, he raised about $18 million to renovate the stadium there. And, of course, he has an inside understanding of how football really galvanizes the entire athletic program. And I don't have any numbers as far as the budget, but, you got to know, and very rarely do you see situations where the football team doesn't carry the athletic program. And I'm talking about schools like even Kentucky when they're in their heyday, Duke, with the basketball programs that they've had, still football at the end of the day brought the most dollars to the bottom line. And, with that said, I threw it out there at him, but the president of the university, Dr. Stuart Rayfield, she jumped right in and said, DJ, man, can I answer that question for you? And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, we have a football program. And the football program that we have is the, what do you call it? Club. Yeah. So, I don't know how to take that. But again, and then after she got through explaining that, I turned back to Coach. I said, Coach. And he said, what she said.
Yeah.
So, you know what, guys, you can take that you can take it in a lot of different ways. And I just chalked it up as, here's a guy that has been in a program and has been exposed to raising money, renovating stadiums, and again, even putting together Adidas deal. I saw on his resume, he put together Adidas deal for Lenore-Ryan. This guy has the skills, and if in fact, maybe not anytime soon, but if in fact they do decide to go full-time football and just not club football, this is a guy who has been exposed. He knows, and so they don't have to go out and hire, even if they did hire a consultant to come in and help, which I would recommend. But here's a guy who's been there, done it, and he's been in a situation where, again, football has been integral part of the program, and he knows what the hell's going on.
I'm glad you asked the question. I thought I'll get a little bit maybe of a different answer, but I do want to say this, and it may go against the grain. I love that there is a club football team. I love that there are athletes out there. They compete. They do take on other club football teams. But for everyone that understands, club football basically means they don't get scholarships, okay? They get people that want to come to CSU. They go into a tryout, and they get to play some games. And they get to they treat it as it's a real team. We're talking about a scholarship-led program. What that would do, it is not the same as club football. I'm sorry, because the type of athletes you can bring when you got scholarships brings people to the stadium that want to watch them. No offense, but it's hard to do that with club football. I mean, heck, when I was at CSU, I played on the club basketball team. You don't ever hear me say I played club basketball because I played at junior college, and once I didn't want to walk on at CSU or sit the bench, I'm not bragging that I played club basketball. Nothing wrong with that because I enjoy doing it, but that was just my mindset as an athlete. And as a school that's trying to raise money, you're just not going to do that with club football. And so hopefully one year or one day, Columbus State will be willing to turn that into a scholarship-led program.
And to add on top of that, is club football and intramural football the same?
It's the same thing, man.
Intramural.
Yeah, so intramural, you play more the people that are in this whole Columbus State. That's who they play against. Club, you do get to play against other schools, but you're basically taking the same athletes you get in intramural sports, which is all the other athletes that are at the school and going to the school. Again, I know about this club football team. I knew many people that played. You have to go to Columbus State. They don't give scholarships. I know we've seen people that said they signed there, which is awesome. They get to go play, but they're not getting any money towards them from CSU. So they're having to choose to go to CSU for academic reasons. And then if they want to, go try out for the club football team. We want to turn that into people are coming here to play football at CSU. That's a whole different conversation.
Well, we're going to give Dr. Ray Field and as well as Justin Hay, the new athletic director, some time on the job to, again, continue to prepare him for greatness with regards to this program and taking it to the next level. And I do want to make a special note. I didn't get to see the celebrities that I also wanted to see up there. The voices of course, Columbus State University Cougars sports.
Yeah.
And that's Scott Miller. And of course, Brian Saletto.
Yep.
Again, I always look forward to seeing those guys when I do go out for an athletic event or meeting, or in this case, the presser.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I really didn't even put two and two together because I was just focused on everything else that Scott Miller wasn't there yesterday, but did see Jimbo Davis. And nothing happens without Jimbo Davis.
That's the real guy behind the scenes.
100%.
And of course, I would recommend to, and I'm sure he already knows that, of course, Jimbo is the guy. He's the guy. He's the straw that stirs the drink. So good luck, athletic director Justin Hay, and hopefully that will be a real major player with regards to your administration and your start to your new career here in Columbus. All right, let's go ahead and take our first break of the day, guys. You are watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2, SportsVisions 92.1. This is the SportsVisions Morning Show.
I need some drink in my cup. Hey, I'm in the mood to pour something up. I wanna go missing. I need a prescription.
If it's local, it's on the SportsVisions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Coach Barringer.
Good morning, I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. One teen is dead and two people are in custody after a shooting Tuesday evening on Vineville Street. Muskogee County Coroner Buddy Bryan said 17-year-old David Escobar was pronounced dead at the scene just shortly after 6 p.m. Meanwhile, Columbus police have also arrested a second suspect in Monday's deadly shooting at Avalon Apartments. Eugene Mabry now faces murder, aggravated assault, and armed robbery charges in the death of 33-year-old Chasten Hunter. To Alabama now, lawmakers gave final approval to a 1% cut to the state's sales tax on food. If Governor Kay Ivey signs the bill, the tax will drop from 3% to 2% starting September 1st, which lawmakers say will offer relief to families hit by rising grocery costs. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great rest of your day.
Good Wednesday morning. We are off to a wet start to the day with light to moderate showers moving across the region. Temperatures in the low 60s, but those rain showers will start to taper off just after daybreak and staying cloudy in the forecast through most of the morning and for the afternoon and evening with those highs near 80. Tonight, mostly cloudy and mild, lows falling to near 65. That wet weather pattern continues for the remainder of the week and also into Mother's Day weekend.
Happy Hump Day, everyone. Thrift Barringer here live from the SportsVisions Morning Show. Me and DJ Jones every weekday morning on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. And it's Hump Day, already halfway through the week. And, man, these second-round series are going down to the wire, whether it's Cleveland, Indiana, Denver and Oklahoma City, or if it's New York Knicks in Boston, Warriors in Minnesota. This may be the best collection of second-round matchups we've had in a long time in the NBA. And if you enjoy watching and want to make a little extra money, I got you an app. It's called PrizePicks. You download the app right now. All you do more or less on player stats. Very easy to use to win up to $2,000 each day. And if you download right now and use promo code TIGERS, you'll get $50 on your first $5 lineup. That's promo code TIGERS to get $50 on your first $5 lineup. Why not enjoy these NBA playoffs and make a little extra money? It's PrizePicks. Run your game.
Aflac, helping people for more than 6 decades focus on recovery and not financial stress. Check out their policies at aflac.com.
The Columbus Clingstones host the Birmingham Barons Tuesday, May 6th through Sunday, May 11th. Don't miss Wet Nose Wednesday, presented by the law offices of Gary Bruce. Friday, post-game fireworks light up the sky. Saturday, see the Budweiser Clydesdales pregame, and first 1,000 fans get a home replica cap courtesy of Eagle Christian Tours. Celebrate Mom at 1:05 p.m. with Sunday Fun Day and post-game kids run the bases thanks to Witt's Frozen Custard. Get your tickets now at Clingstones.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Knowledge, wisdom, excellence, service are the core values of Morehouse School of Medicine. To learn more, go to msm.edu.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Barringer who does the same. Barringer offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Barringer, for the ones who get it done.
Your home for Falcons football. SportsVisions 92.1. Now back to the SportsVisions morning show. Here's Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the SportsVisions morning show. DJ Jones, Thrift Barringer, and Richard Holdridge sitting on ready. He's getting ready to hit the road, and he's going to head down shortly to the Hump. And again, they have some big things going on down there. Richard, why don't you let us know what exactly is in store for everybody out there today?
Well, I'll be headed out to Patterson Field for the AISA Single A State Championship Series between the Saints from Patrician and the Lakeside Chiefs. And this is going to be a doubleheader, 11 o'clock Eastern. That is when they're going to start that first pitch, approximately 30 minutes after the first game. They will turn around and have the second game. This will be on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then after that, we've got some AHSAA semifinal matchup between Glenwood and Prattville Christian, 17 minutes up the road in Prattville. And we are going to actually have that game, those games on the NFHS network. So it's going to be a long day today, but we're excited to do it and get to showcase these potential champions in our area. And it's going to get ready for some good baseball. Hopefully the weather will cooperate, and it's looking like it might be.
Absolutely. Hey, let's circle back to Columbus State and, of course, the new athletic director. When you talk about what's just happened, obviously, officially yesterday, about 9:30, maybe quarter till to 10, Justin Hay was introduced as the new athletic director at Columbus State University. Comes in with quite an impressive resume, and of course, on the job training experience, all that good stuff. Everything that all my research says, it's positive, very, very positive. And what stuck out to me more importantly is that this guy has had her hand in every phase of the athletic administration that you could. So this means that we are getting here at Columbus State a well-rounded guy.
Yep.
This guy, again, fundraising is the ultimate, and I know that he'll handle that. He checked the box with that. When raising money, that's the bottom line, especially for D2 school. For the athletic director to come in. Obviously, athletic directors anywhere, D1, D2, D3, all are involved in the fundraising process, but a little bit more strenuous for the Division II guys to go out and really galvanize the community, the corporate community particularly, and of course help fundraise to and bring those dollars in, because that helps them with their programs. And in the case with some of the other things that stood out, I did see the fact that he introduced live streaming games on his campus, which means that he speaks y'all's language, Thrift. I mean, when you're talking about that, he understood it. I don't know how long ago he started doing that, but He was integral had an integral part in that being a part of Lenore Ryan's athletic administration as well. So when you talk about raising money, fundraising, and you talk about again, this guy is with streaming, he's understanding all that lingo and that technology. And the other part about that is that he's coached. He had, in his background, he has coached. And the other part about that is checking the boxes. He was a former baseball player, former athlete.
Yep.
So again, across the board, a family man. Everything looks tremendous now. To take this guy who has all of this knowledge and training and ability, put him at the top of this program, man, I'm excited to think of what's to come. Again, like you said, the coaches, they got veteran coaches, you got coaches that understand, coaches who can do, who have done the most with the least. Now, you put a few more crumbs on their plate, there's no telling what can happen for Columbus State University.
I completely agree with that, DJ, and he needs the opportunity to spread his wings and fly. He doesn't need to look over his shoulder. He needs to make sure everyone allows him to do his job. No micromanaging. Like, if his job is to raise money and he raises money, let him allocate those funds the way he sees fit.
Good point.
So he can help do what is necessary for these coaches. Because there's no point in hiring an AD if he really has no say-so in his job, like it says in his job description. So I'm hoping that, and it seems like we're going to get that. Dr. Rayfield's going to support him and let him do his job, because we've seen in years past how a micromanager and a president can really take the power from an AD, and he's just a glorified stand-in guy or stand-in woman. We don't need that right now. What Columbus State needs a go-getter, and Justin seems like that, and let's hope that he has the ability to continue growing all the sports programs.
It still blows my mind, Richard, the fact that, of course, getting a guy as credentialed as he has been, and again, I look forward to the future and with his leadership in that athletic program. But up to this point, how many years, how long has it been with the interim? I know Sparks did it for a while, and then they brought in a young lady. Her name is?
Yeah, Miss Laurie. I forgot her last name, but she was there the last 6 months. Jay was there for 2 years.
Absolutely. I mean, it's 2.5 years basically of interim, direct sports director. So again, I say, those guys, those interims obviously had to have done a very good job as well.
Yeah, they did an excellent job. I've been impressed by them. I know you were too, Richard.
Yeah, the last time they had a full-time athletic director, I believe, was in 2022. I think it was Todd Reeser. I'm not sure.
Todd Reeser. Yep, that was him.
Yeah, that was him. And then we know Jay Sparks. He was the AD before. He came in and did just a great job as the interim AD. And I think that it's very important that we're going through this transition period for the past 2 years, and it seemed like CSU athletics has not skipped a beat. That everybody knew their role, everybody knew what they needed to do to be successful, and you got Justin Hay coming into a great situation, and he's going to have a great staff. I've been impressed with their SID, Clayton Bearfield. I've been impressed with, just Chris Robinson and the live streaming and watching the games on the Peach Belt Network, and not just basketball, but also seeing baseball and seeing soccer. And the communications department at CSU does a great job of that. Scott Miller does a great job as the voice of CSU athletics. And I think that's also another way to get that product out there. I know that the Peach Belt Network is really hard to access. I mean, they don't go on Facebook Live like we do on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I think that's probably the next step, to see how can we get these games on. They're free, and people can watch them on their computer. How can we get these games on Facebook Live and on YouTube so people could actually see them a lot easier? And I think that that's a good way to reach the market out here and to build your brand. And I'm wondering if Justin's going to have that on his plate and maybe entertain that idea.
I think this is a great transition. I think we touched on it yesterday, Thrift, just a little bit, but when we were talking about the process of, free versus, paying a fee. And I want you to eloquently explain once again to the SportsVisions Nation out there, for those people who are not as technically advanced as you guys are, with regards to, how you can do what you do on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And NHSF, they have a different situation. And there's several other streaming services that require you to pay fees. And now, again, I know business, it requires different situations, and it's big and a bit, but you're talking about, a government funded or government, according to what I thought I understood you say. But explain that again, how and why would you do the game free versus why would you charge someone?
I understand. Listen, the NFHS is National Federation of High School Sports. They are government funded and they are a big time organization. The NFHS sets the rules for all the sports. So, and it doesn't matter the league. So that's where it comes from. And then they have their own streaming. So they set all the rules for everybody around the country. And then they came up with their own streaming because they got the funding for it. The reason they do the subscription is because they get sponsors in the big towns, but it's the small towns, maybe in Cordele, Georgia, or in Chattahoochee County. They might have a lot of people there and they don't have a lot of business they can go out and maybe find sponsorship for. So like, let's just charge the people. So there's still revenue coming from the streams. Supposedly some of that money does go back to the school. I don't know the really ins and outs of that. There's only really one school that benefits from that here in this area, and that's Central, because they're almost a glorified college. So they're really the only one. Everybody else doesn't make really any money off of the NFHS or doesn't even have the NFHS to be able to go and stream. And this is just in my opinion, especially high school sports. If we're not charging for college football, the NFL, NBA, why are we charging for high school sports? Because people would rather watch college football in the NFL. They're not paying for that. I need eyes on high school sports. We want exposure. You're telling me we're making it a little bit tougher for people to go out and see these top-notch, talented people because you're asking them to do a subscription. Most people don't want to do that. They just don't. Or they use someone else's login like they do with Netflix and Hulu and everything else. So everything's always costing money. It's nice sometimes to just be able to go on Facebook and YouTube and watch a game. And I think that's what we're trying to present to everyone, especially in the high school landscape, DJ.
Richard and Thrift, I want to make sure that I understand what you said with regards to, colleges and pros and again, throwing them into this pot of what we're talking about, high school sports. Because, we know, obviously, on the collegiate level and the professional level, that the money is stupendous with regards to the networks that, the money that's generated. So I guess, I want to understand what you were saying. When you did say that, just clarify it, because I know if I heard that, I want to make sure I'm hearing or you're saying what I thought you said with regards to if colleges don't charge, why would the high schools charge?
Yeah, that again, why are we charging people to watch high school sports? And I thought the end goal was to get eyes and exposure on these athletes. If you're charging, you're limiting yourself on who's going to tune in to watch these athletes, and I don't want that. That is what I'm thinking. We're hurting ourselves a little bit. And I understand you got to have revenue, and I get it's easier to go get sponsorships for Auburn, Alabama game or an NFL game. I completely understand that. But again, knowing the ins and outs of the NFHS, they don't have 5 million crews they're sending out to all these high schools. Majority of the time, they're taking like a security camera that follows the ball in a gymnasium and then putting it on the NFHS network. That's costing no money to do that. Most of them don't have play-by-plays, and they don't even have a scoreboard some of the times. They just have the broadcast. Well, if that's the case and you're not spending any money on the broadcast, why are you making people charge for that? And I've seen that a lot.
Call them out, Thrift. Call them out.
I'm just saying, I'm seeing that a lot. And listen, we're partnering with NFHS because the rule states in Alabama for playoffs, you get a $500 fine and then you get banned from AHSAA sanctioned events. So we'll never want to go down that route, but they have it where it is exclusive with NFHS. So that is what we're having to do. But it's still, I'm going to speak my opinion on it. This Glenwood-Prattville game, people are going to tune in. There's a lot of people that had NFHS subscription. Glenn was talking about they're going to send out a login so more people can tune in. But think about what the coverage could be for the entire state if that game was on YouTube and everybody had access to it. That is the part I'm talking about. When you do the subscription base, you are limiting the eyes that are on these athletes. And the whole reason of streaming these games is to give them exposure for it, not to make money off of it, to give them exposure off of it. And I think we kind of lost sight of that.
Well, again, I'm just with as far as the growth and development of Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and you and Richard being able to get to where y'all need to go, and of course have all the proper equipment, all the producers, all the technical people that you need to be on board. It costs. And you know what? You can't do that for free. And again, all the sponsors out there, I think they need to understand that because again, I hear what you're saying. It's all about the kids, but at the same time, you can't do and you can't operate this, without, money. And again, we always say it takes coal to run a train and it takes gold to run a campaign. And I just, same thing with here. Right here with this particular station or this particular show. We have to have it. I mean, those commercials that you guys hear, a lot of people really don't even understand. Even, as grown folks don't understand watching television, listen to the radio. Oh, why we have to stop and go to a commercial break? Well, that's how, that's how that game is put on the air. That's who the funding. That's the funding behind what we do. And when we go to commercial breaks and you hear these commercials, so we need and rely on our community partners, these corporations in the communities. We need them to of course to invest in us, because if we don't have those people, then you won't have programs like this or the streaming services.
I thank you for saying that, DJ. And I do want people not to take my words and understand, like, listen, me and Richard are not doing these stuff for free. And like all my guys, I got 20 guys, right? As much as they love it, DJ, they're not spending time away from being in a full-time job to come do this for free. So yes, there has to be funds involved in it, because this is work. You're there for 3 or 4 hours doing that. But I am thankful. That's why we got corporate sponsors that allow us to not have to charge people. And we're going to continue to do that. I put it on me, and I'm taking the onus, like, hey, I'm going to go out and find fundraising to be able to go and do these broadcasts so everyone in the community can go and see that. And right now, that's a good selling point for sponsors. That's why I'd rather take this way of doing a streaming business than the way of subscription based. For one, I think you have the ability to grow your platform a lot bigger, not having people have to pay each month to watch your stuff.
All right. I tell you what, we have talked enough during that particular segment. We're going to have to take a break and pay some bills. And again, I guess that's another perfect segue, and let you know that you're watching Facebook Live and you are listening to WLTC HD2 SportsVisions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the SportsVisions Morning Show. SportsVisions 92.1.
Everything is expensive right now. Gas, food, you name it. You're spending more, you are making the same or less money. So what do? You rack up credit card debt. That's what you do. It's not your fault. It's the economy. And guess what? If you rack up too much credit card debt like some of us, you can't pay your bills. Then the credit card companies, as nice as they are, start hounding you for money. Then you start your downward spiral. A smart thing for you to do is to call the Zero Debt. They can help you consolidate all your credit card bills into one affordable payment. Millions of people have done it. It works to make you debt-free. Make this free call right now. It costs you nothing to learn more.
800-628-5675. 800-628-5675. 800-628-5675. That's 800-628-5675.
Minor League Baseball is back in Columbus. Catch Clingstones baseball every night on SportsVisions 92.1. Your home for the SportsVisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer, the Dan Patrick Show, The Herd with Colin Cowherd, and the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Barringer who does the same. Barringer offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Barringer, for the ones who get it done.
Attorney advertising. Local counsel, Alexander Shahara trial attorneys. Paid active dramatization. Past results do not guarantee future results in each case.
Now you doing the money dance. Singing the money song. How it go? Money, money, money. Let me give you the backstory behind this. One day you was walking in the park. It was a dog. It wasn't on his leash. Dog started chasing you, so you ran. You ran into the street, got hit by a car. After all of that, the dog bit you too. Now you calling your dog. Now you calling Top Dog. Now you telling Top Dog the story. Telling them how the guy ain't had a dog on a leash. Telling them how you ran into the street and got hit by a car. You telling them your story. Top Dog, he can't believe it. A dog bit you? He can't believe it. Hit by a car? He can't believe it. You about to get some money, believe it. Any accident, Top Dog Law.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Alabama at highschoolofficials.com.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the SportsVisions morning show. Let's get back to DJ and Thrift on SportsVisions 92.1.
Welcome back to the SportsVisions morning show. DJ Jones, Thrift Barringer, and Richard Holdred. Richard's kind of holding in there with us a few more minutes here before you have to get ready to do his thing. And again, Richard, we want to again wish you well, and on the broadcast, we want to wish you well on your travels. Praying for traveling grace and mercy as you go down to capture all of that high school baseball championship action down in the Gump.
Yeah, thank you, DJ. I'm looking forward to it. Of course, I'm going to be on my way to Montgomery just shortly, and I always look forward to that trip to Montgomery because I always get to stop at Buc-ee's.
I mean, if there's something that this man is obsessed with, he needs to be the endorser of Buc-ee's, is Richard Holdridge.
What? You mean to tell me other than Georgia Alabama Sports Live, Buc-ee's will take
you're
over
right. It's hard to get to the Georgia Gas Live, baby, but he loves some Buc-ee's, man. If he sees a Buc-ee's, he's going in Buc-ee's. It don't matter if it's 3 in the morning or 9 in the or 9 in the evening. Does not matter. Richard stopping at that Buc.
Let me tell you something. I love me some Buc-ee's as well, Richard. For the benefit of those folks out there who don't or haven't been to a Buc-ee's or know, even for that matter, even know what a Buc-ee's is, I'll let you do the pleasures.
All right. Well, a lot of people are familiar with like Love's Truck Stops, you know, and you have like a place that just has everything like kind of food wise, and Love's Truck Stop has like some stuff that you need like for traveling, like blankets and pillows. Well, Buc-ee's is kind of like a super store that has like 100 gas station pumps. They have the brisket sandwiches. They've got so many selection of candies and drinks, and you know, different like 20 flavors of coffee. And also when it comes to the food, I mean, they actually specialize in like fudge and pecans, and it's one of those experiences that it's worth the wait. But like definitely on a weekend when you're traveling, and Buc-ee's are only placed on interstates when people have long trips, and they have those billboards that say, you know, the next Buc-ee's is 195 miles away. People look forward to it. It is always jam-packed. It's crowded. It's even in the bathrooms, and in just every square inch of a Buc-ee's is just crowded with people. But they actually do a good job getting them through the line. So very, very successful business model. I know that it's a big deal, especially, you know, when they build a Buc-ee's. We've got 2 of them in Georgia, and soon to be 3 because there's one down in close in Savannah. So I look forward to it, and I highly recommend going into a Buc-ee's if you've never been in one.
Now, I love Buc-ee's, but you let me go down as we travel down 85 South, just south of Auburn. That's the exit it's on, and I think it's exit 55.
Yep.
To be exact. But you know what? If you don't let me act like I'm not going to stop, man, I'm going to have issues. I'm going to have problems. Miss Candy loves Buc-ee's. She loves Buc-ee's, and I do too, to be honest with you. I mean, that, like you said, the pulled pork, and again the briskets, and I love all the nuts and everything in Buc-ee's. And again, they have pastries. It's amazing, and again, it's just it's like not necessarily just a little quick stop. It's almost like it's an attraction because again, there's not a whole lot of them. And I know that out west, I think that they're a little bit more popular than here, but man, they are coming and they're coming. But the folks that do stop every time, I've never been in a Buc-ee's and they didn't have, a crowd. And so I know that they're making money hand over fist, but the presentation and their customer service is excellent.
Unbelievable. The brisket's good. The breakfast sandwiches are even better. And then they got their own candy, their own nuts. I mean, it's overwhelming. And then they got even all like the souvenir in store. It's really huge. So it's awesome to be able to be in a Buc-ee's for sure.
Absolutely. So that's enough of public service announcements for Buc-ee's. Guys, you know what? We got coming up in just a little bit, Gorse, just a phenomenal athlete, a phenomenal female athlete. And I tell you, man, we have been paying homage to, of course, the females with regards to, of course, yesterday we had Mindy Johnson on, the athletic director out at Harris County, doing big things in the county. But, of course,
Yes.
Yeah, one of our very own, from born and raised right here in Columbus, Georgia, just a phenomenal athlete, Sue Walton, who went on to college and even in professional ranks. She made the Olympic trials years ago. And you know what? Just to talk to her now as a mature woman who is raising some very successful children and has a husband that's in the NFL as a coach. Man, I tell you what, she has some nuggets for us. And in fact, her son, he's being pursued and he's being offered scholarships to play at the next level. So all of that in one coming up in just a little bit. Richard, anything last you want to say before you get out of here?
No, I just I appreciate it, and we're gonna hit the ground running. It's gonna be a long day, but we're glad that we're able to get these games on our platform, and then later this afternoon, Glenwood. In the semifinals on the NFHS network.
Well, safe travels to you, my brother. We appreciate you.
I appreciate it, DJ. Thanks, Rick.
Yes, sir.
That's Big Rich.
Big Rich going down. You and him, y'all gonna tag team two games?
Yeah, 4 games.
4 games.
4 games. So 2 games earlier in the day, the Lakeside Patrician 1A AISA, that's Alabama Independent High School Association state championship, that's supposed to be starting 11 Eastern, 30 minutes after, should be done by 4 Eastern, and then we'll have about 15. We'll have about 30 minutes where we can collect ourselves, grab a bite to eat, and then we're going to be at Prattville Christian Academy for Glenwood. That starts at 5:30 and 8.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as I always introduce, come close. The fabulous Sue Walton, Kenya Sue Walton. That's her government name. And of course, I want you guys out there, if you know Felix and Shirley Walton, let them know that you got up this morning and you heard their baby girl on the SportsVisions morning show. The next voice and the next person that you will see and hear us talking to is Kenya Sue Walton, the former 9-time track All-American at the University of Tennessee. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2 SportsVisions 92.1. This is the SportsVisions morning show.
Please don't pay that songs in this party. I can't even listen to that. Anytime that I run into somebody, it must be a victory.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is SportsVisions 92.1.
Aflac, helping people for more than 6 decades focus on recovery and not financial stress. Check out their policies at aflac.com.
Minor League Baseball is back in Columbus. Catch Clingstones baseball every night on SportsVisions 92.1. Your home for the SportsVisions morning show with DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer, the Dan Patrick Show, The Herd with Colin Cowherd, and the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Attorney advertising. Local counsel, Alexander Shahara trial attorneys. Paid active dramatization. Past results and not guaranteed future results in each case.
Now you doing the money dance, singing the money song. How it go? Money, 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 money. Let me give you the backstory behind this. One day you was walking in the park. It was a dog. It wasn't on its leash. Dog started chasing you, so you ran. You ran into the street, got hit by a car. After all of that, the dog bit you too. Now you calling your dog. Now you call it Top Dog. Now you telling Top Dog the story. Telling them how the guy ain't had a dog on a leash. Telling them how you ran into the street and got hit by a car. You telling them your story. Top Dog, he can't believe it. A dog bit you? He can't believe it. Hit by a car? He can't believe it. You about to get some money, believe it. Any accident, Top Dog Law.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the mirror fast soft shoes, smart move.
no way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirafast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Look for Mirafast at Walmart today. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Knowledge, wisdom, excellence, service are the core values of Morehouse School of Medicine. To learn more, go to msm.edu.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game. So I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Georgia at highschoolofficials.com.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. The Herd with Colin Cowherd. 12 to 3 on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's Carver Tigers legend DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Hey, without further ado, we talked about a young lady that is probably one of the best female athletes to have ever come from these parts. And I know that she is excited to be here. And, of course, the pride and joy of Columbus, Georgia. She's sitting there with her son. I'm sure she's going to introduce. But let me do this formally. She's a 9-time All-American track star out of University of Tennessee. She's a volunteer. Can you believe the Georgia Bulldogs allowed her to get out of this state? But she actually left here first, going to the Ohio State. And, of course, her brother, Tim Walton, who we all know, was at Ohio State. But I think that it was just a little bit too cold for Sue up in Ohio State. But, Sue, let me welcome you to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Really good, really good. Glad for you to get up here early with us this morning. But you know what? Before we get into talking about you, will you please introduce us to that handsome young man next to you?
All right. I have my son here. He's actually the athlete in the family now. So he said he's the best athlete in the family. But no, this is my son, Simeon. He's a junior in high school, and he has a big day today, too. So I want to bring him on. He's doing a commitment today. So he's surprising everyone with the commitment later this afternoon. So
okay. So Simeon, you sure you don't want to let the Sports Visions Nation know? Give us the heads up or break the news with us this morning?
Not yet. It's coming out later today. So everyone will find out a little later on today.
Well, good deal. We'll be definitely checking that out and listening and following it. But Sue, again, good morning and thank you for coming on the Sports Visions Morning Show. And again, in the spirit of female athlete of the year luncheon that's going to be in about 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. And of course, we have an award that's named after you. And again, what an honor it is to do that. But in the spirit of that, being one of the best to have ever done it from this area out of Carver High School. And I know you give a lot of credit to not only your mom and dad, Coach Felix and Shirley, but Wallace Davis had a big part in your development.
Absolutely. My mom and dad for sure. But then you have Coach Davis. Coach Davis act like, another dad to me outside my real dad. And he took us in, actually me and my brother, and guided us and just kind of just he not only coached us, but he took us in as family and kind of just guided us, leaded us on and off the court field, and whatever we did. And he just just kind of basically instilled a lot of confidence in us too. So with the coaching, telling us what to do, along with my dad. My dad was a coach too, so them two joining heads, putting their thoughts and ideas of what's best for us together. It was a good chemistry.
Where did the love for sports come from, Sue?
Ooh, I don't know. I guess we started off real young. My dad was a coach, so he just kind of had us involved in following him around. And when you stay in the gym or stay on the field all the time, you just start picking up different things yourself. So since he was a coach, and he babysitted us at the field during the summer workouts and different things. So we just had to be there. So, we just picked up the different sports by being there.
So the Olympic trials, I mean, a big deal, just trying to get to the Olympics. And I remember in college when it was held in Sacramento, it was a big deal for our community. It was in Eugene, Oregon. I mean, that makes sense, the home of Nike. But you also had it in New Orleans in 92, getting ready for the Barcelona Olympics. And it was held in Atlanta in 1996. Right. How big of a deal is it for these athletes to not only be showcased in the Olympic trials, but with that anticipation, trying to get one of those coveted spots on the Olympic team?
Oh, it's a big deal. I mean, that's what everybody, as a track athlete, that's what you train for, to try to make it to the Olympics or as far as you can. And, I had the opportunity to participate in the 92 trials as well as the 96. So, unfortunately, I didn't make neither one, based off both years I was coming off injuries. So, it wasn't in God's plan, but just being able to have the opportunity to go and represent in the trials was a big deal.
Simeon, I want to definitely bring you into the fold with this. This has been a big day for you, but what was it like? I mean, first of all, I want you to introduce your dad. Tell us what your dad, who your dad is and what he does, because your mom, as great as she is, the fact of the matter is the development of you having the benefit of having both of them there. But first, let's start with your dad.
So my dad is Mike Caldwell. He played 11 years in the NFL, and he's now been coaching for 16 years. He's now the current linebacker coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Cool. So with you having that kind of tutelage, that kind of mentorship, I know that it's not common. It's definitely not having to have two world-class athletes as your parents and who have gone through a lot of the things that you will be going through. But what do you say to people out there about your development, about how you make decisions and how you take schools seriously and as far as your academics?
Having them mentor me growing up has been great. Not many people get to say both their parents are world-class athletes, like you said. So just being able to see what they've been through and allow them to guide me through the process has been a great thing. And on and off the field, they're teaching me great life lessons throughout my life. They've taught me a lot of things. And then also academically also, got to keep up with the academics. So they preach that also. And being able to just try to compete with them at the same time, all the great things that my mom and dad did on the court, on the field, on the track, it inspires me to try to beat them and be greater than them.
Sue, you also have two other beautiful young daughters that are very athletic and very accomplished in their own right. Why don't you introduce those daughters for us?
Okay, yes, I have my oldest is Sydney. She actually just graduated in 2023. She was a basketball player. She actually signed coming out of high school with Arizona State. So she played at Arizona State for 2 years and then, decided to transfer. She transferred to UPenn and finished out her career and got her degree there. She now works with the Las Vegas Aces. So she's still in sports, not playing, but she works in the front office with Las Vegas Aces. And then I have my middle one is Sanaya. She's a junior at UPenn and she plays basketball. So she's doing well there.
Wow. I tell you what, awesome. An incredible That's just a success story right there in that house. But, in continuing your legacy here with the Sue Walton Athlete of the Year, I know that these young ladies over the past, this will be the 10th year, believe it or not, Sue, that I rolled that out and introduced that to you and your dad. But 10 years later, again, we're still talking about Sue and her legacy in this community, and we will forever, as long as I got anything to do with it, we'll continue to talk about you, and not only you, but you and your brother. Let's talk a little bit about the competitiveness of you growing up and you and Tim growing up together. How did that happen? Because, again, a lot of people say that you were actually faster than Tim. Yeah. Is there any truth to that?
I think it is. Don't ask him that, though. But no, you know what? He was older, but not much older, just a year and a half. So just watching him. Now, one thing I will say about Tim was a real hard worker. And seeing him, it only motivated me to work hard too, because like I said, we were so close in age that we're both competitive. So I had to work as hard as him because I saw him working hard, and I knew if I didn't work hard, then I wouldn't probably accomplish the things that I wanted to accomplish, and saw all the good things that was, he was doing. So he pushed me by seeing him. He was a good motivator for me just by his work ethic, and he was. He pushed me too. He instilled a lot of confidence in me by just saying, "So you can do this, you can do that. Come on, let's do this." And actually, brought me along to work out and train with him. So that helped with my development. Having an older brother that I had to try to keep up with.
So when looking at your career and the Olympic trials and being able to make the Olympics, who are some of the people that were mentors that were in your life during that time period? You talked about Coach Davis, talked about your brother when you were younger. What about when you got older, during that incredible run that you had? Who were some people that were influences?
Like I said, of course, my mom and dad, for sure. They've been there from day one. Coach Davis still, we still have contact with Coach Davis. So he's been a big part, not only just during my high school years, but even prior to that, and even after, beyond my high school years. Then, you go to my AAU coach, Coach Ron out of Atlanta. He was a big part in my development during the AAU circuit. And then my coaches at Tennessee, I would say, was a big part of me becoming who I am.
So when you talk about being in Columbus and playing at Carver and making that transition to Tennessee, what was that like, and what was that experience like, being a Tennessee Vol? And I know there's got to be just a lot of pride there, especially when Tennessee was getting ready just to be that team that really was battling Florida in the SEC. I know that this was before Peyton Manning got there, but I know that Tennessee, Heath Schuler, they had a pretty good football team and good athletics during that time.
Yeah. I didn't hear the question. Can you ask that question one more time? Sorry.
What was it like making that transition from Columbus to Knoxville, being a Tennessee Volunteer and being around athletics around the Tennessee campus?
I got you. Actually, it was an easy transition because if you heard the old saying, if you can come out of Carver and run for Coach Davis, you're ready. That's one thing I will say, coming out of Carver prepared me for college. I was college ready going into it from the preparation that I had coming out of high school. Coach Davis, and like I said, my dad too, because my dad was always part of the process, and my mom. But just the confidence they instilled, the work ethic, and the toughness. That's a lot of things. A lot of people have, talent, and but when you add the work ethic to it and you add toughness to it, and that's what, I was able to take with me to college. So my transition was pretty easy, going to Tennessee, SEC. It was a powerhouse school, but, like I said, there was other. SEC is hard to run in, and I was ready, to compete because of where I came from, the school that I came from.
No doubt, Simeon, you knew how great, or you've read and about how great your parents have been in their careers, but you as a young student athlete, and I know dealing with what you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and again, having to try to live up to the, again, world-class athletes in your household. Again, what was your responsibility, or how did you handle mentally, knowing that you had a dad that was a professional football NFL coach, and your uncle coaching, on the collegiate level, and as for many, many years, a national champion at Ohio State, your mom being an Olympic, former Olympian, Olympic caliber athlete. How did you compartmentalize all of that going on in your head without feeling that overabundance amount of pressure?
At first, there was a lot of pressure, trying to live up to all the expectations from others, trying to live up to my parents' standards. But, I've come to embrace it because, a lot of people say expectations are a burden, but I don't view it that way. I feel like expectations are a privilege because, some people could not expect anything out of you. So the reason that they expect it is because they believe that you can do it. And so I have that mindset going forward, and knowing that, there's expectations for a reason, that everyone knows that that's the level I can reach. So I strive to reach that every day.
I know you're going to make a decision a little later, but what were the components that helped you to come to the decision of where you're going to be taking your talents to the next level?
Definitely the coaches. I wanted to have a great environment in a place where I love the coaches, the coaching staff, and then also a place that can develop me in the future, both academically and athletically. So I feel like those were some of the biggest factors that helped with my decision.
Sue, how much of your decision making, as far as where you were going to go to school and how you handled it, how you transitioned, because you left Carver going to Ohio State, and after being recruited by literally everybody in the country, but then after leaving Ohio State, you went to Tennessee. So how much, again, the discussion that you have, or how much, you did that have with regards to leading your son or helping your son decide on what choices he made with all the schools that were recruiting him?
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, the same factors that's important to him was important to me. And just trying to, just showing him, actually telling him like the same thing. We sit down, with me and my husband, Mike, and his dad, and just go over the pros and cons, and and see what's the best fit for him, and then we come to a conclusion. Hey, we all sit down. We make a list differently. Mike has his list, I have my list, Simeon has his list. Then we come together and we talk about it, and that's how we came up with the decision.
I think that's awesome, man. And I think that's a cry to really all the athletes, young athletes out there, when you're making a decision this big. So for those that are listening right now to someone as prestigious as yourself that had a lot of success in your career, what would your message be to young athletes that are trying to get to the highest level, Sue?
You know what? I would just tell them to work hard, to stay consistent. Work ethic is going to be real important. And you got to do something to separate yourself, because now I would say with the transfer portal, it's a little bit harder now than a couple of years ago, because now with coaches, they want someone that's ready, almost college ready, because with their jobs on the line, and they don't have a lot of time to develop you. So I would just say, work hard, try to separate yourself, and do the little things, and make sure that you get your grades, and do the right thing. Because one thing we've heard from a lot of coaches, even with Simeon, they don't have time to babysit. They need you to come in and doing what you're supposed to do, because their job is, recruiting is hard as enough, but just trying to keep the athletes there so they don't have time for the extra problems. So, be problem free, be, have a good work ethic, and just try to do something to be consistent, and make sure you develop your talents.
Sue, I got to ask you, with track and field being a sport that's offered in the spring, did you play multiple sports at Carver, or did you just focus on track?
I did. I played basketball, and I dabbled in softball a little bit there too. And I did. And I was the trainer for the football team, so I was busy all year.
Kenya Sue Walton is our guest this morning, along with her son Simeon, on the SportsVisions morning show. And lastly, and I know you guys got to get on with the rest of your day, but lastly, Sue, this is something that probably will be universal with all parents out there in the SportsVisions nation. As you raised your kids, as busy a schedule as you have with all of their, keeping up with them, and obviously your husband being coaching on the professional level, how did you stay leveled up? How did you keep it all together?
You know what? That's one thing we said, that with Mike's schedule, we just had to make sure that we stayed on the same page with the kids, and we both, wanted the same thing for our kids. We had to get on the same page so we can have one message when we talk to them. And the message was, academics is important and sports is important. You need to do something. And we allowed them to pick what they wanted to pick, but we wanted them to be involved because sports just was so good to us, that we couldn't help but share it with them, but we did allow them to pick whatever sport they wanted to do. And we got on the same page and they bought in. That was the easy part. And we was around sports so much that they just grew up around it. So it came easy. It wasn't even forced. So, it was just a good transition from us being in unison.
Well, Sue and Simeon, I tell you, I appreciate you guys coming on this morning. But I'd be remiss if I didn't give you an opportunity to give a shout out to your mom and dad, Felix and Shirley Walton. Sue, I'll let you do that right now because they're going to see this.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Yep. Shout out mom. Shout out dad. Shout out Felix and Shirley Walton. That's grandma and grandpa. So shout out to them. Thank you for all that y'all have done for me and everybody.
Yeah, and especially for me, my mom held it down. That's one thing. My dad, he was coaching. He had his own team, so my mom had to make sure that my brother and I got the places that we need to get to. And with us being in so many different sports, she got it done for us. So shout out to my mom and dad.
Well, thank you, Sue and Simeon, and congratulations, Simeon. Man, I'm looking forward to following that. What time will you make the announcement?
10:30 today. Yes.
Are you going to be on social media?
Yes, I'll be posting on Instagram and Twitter this morning.
Go ahead and give that Instagram and Twitter handle.
My Instagram is C_Sim SIM24.
All right. Hey, you guys have a great rest of your morning, and thank you for coming on the SportsVisions Morning Show.
Thank you for having us. Y'all have a great day.
All right. Wow, that's incredible. I knew it. We were going to get Sue, but Simeon is there. I mean, man, that's awesome. That's awesome to have a mother-son interview when he's going to be making an announcement. We were able to go back and forth and talk about. This is what we do all the time. We talk about these situations, Thrift and Richard. We talk about them, but now here you had it. You heard it straight from, again, a professional, a world-class athlete, and then of course a son who's a highly recruited elite athlete. And it's talking about, the wherewithal, the things you have to do and involve, the decision you have to make. And, man, I tell you what, that was a power-packed, action-packed, and full of information as far as that interview.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And hot cotton. That's what Aunt Candy likes to say. That's exactly what Sue Walton is. And can't wait to see where Simeon is going to be going.
All right. Do we have any shout-outs that you need to give this morning?
Right now, we just got
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is SportsVisions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. One teen is dead and two people are in custody after a shooting Tuesday evening on Vineville Street. Muskogee County Coroner Buddy Bryan said 17-year-old David Escobar was pronounced dead at the scene just shortly after 6 p.m. Meanwhile, Columbus police have also arrested a second suspect in Monday's deadly shooting at Avalon Apartments. Eugene Mabry now faces murder, aggravated assault, and armed robbery charges in the death of 33-year-old Chasten Hunter. To Alabama now, lawmakers gave final approval to a 1% cut to the state's sales tax on food. If Governor Kay Ivey signs the bill, the tax will drop from 3% to 2% starting September 1st, which lawmakers say will offer relief to families hit by rising grocery costs. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great rest of your day.
Good Wednesday morning. We are off to a wet start to the day with light to moderate showers moving across the region. Temperatures in the low 60s, but those rain showers will start to taper off just after daybreak and staying cloudy in the forecast through most of the morning and for the afternoon and evening with those highs near 80. Tonight, mostly cloudy and mild, lows falling to near 65. That wet weather pattern continues for the remainder of the week and also into Mother's Day weekend.
Time for another name for Nissan.
Edward Gay of Waverly Hall. Again, that name is Edward Gay of Waverly Hall.
If that's you, text headquarter to 855-706-2946 to be put on the short list for a chance to win a brand new Nissan. From Headquarter Nissan and SportsVisions 92.1.
Knowledge, wisdom, excellence, service are the core values of Morehouse School of Medicine. To learn more, go to msm.edu.
Did you know you can add renewing your driver's license or ID card to your grocery list? The Georgia Department of Driver Services now offers self-service kiosks at select Kroger and Publix locations. From renewing or replacing to updating your address, the kiosks will issue a temporary paper license, and you'll receive a permanent card in the mail. Skip the line and save time by adding your driver's license renewal to your grocery list today. You'll even get a $5 discount on your order. Visit dds.georgia.gov to learn more.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Aflac, helping people for more than 6 decades focus on recovery and not financial stress. Check out their policies at aflac.com.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Your home for the Dan Patrick Show, 9 to 12 on SportsVisions 92.1. Now back to the SportsVisions Morning Show. Here's former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. If I have to beg, please.
Welcome back to the SportsVisions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Barringer. Good Wednesday morning, everybody, and we appreciate you getting up with us this morning, and hopefully you're starting your day off just well. Thrift, the middle of the week, we are halfway there, and again, man, it's all downhill from here.
Yep, it is, man, and always that hump day gets you. Oh, you got to get over the hump to the weekend.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Kenya Sue Walton, the baby daughter or the baby girl of Felix and Shirley Walton. Of course, the pride and joy of Diamond Head, Diamond World, Diamond Park, Diamond everything. I mean, that's where they grew up. And of course, you know, Coach Walton Felix Walton is a legendary coach here as well. And again, they are definitely the proud parents. And, you know, again, to have not just one famous kid, but you got two. You got a kid that's not only was he a great collegiate player, but he's been a coach for over 25 years on the professional ranks, as well as a national champion at Ohio State, the defensive back coach, and Tim Walton. And then you got a 9-time All-American Hall of Famer, two-time Hall of Famer, and Kenya Sue Walton. Man, I tell you what, you know, some kids, it's hard enough to have one, but he got two.
Unreal. And that's an incredible athletic family. I was saying it's like Reggie and Cheryl Miller almost, isn't it, DJ, when it comes to athletes?
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate you make mentioning of that. But again, that is a testimony of just how much great talent, how many great families, and again, all the great things that this community does have to offer. Again, I know that you see a lot of things about things that are negative and have nothing to do with, the good things that are happening. But that's why we have this platform. We want to shine the light on not only all the great kids that perform and compete, but we have the great kids that have grown up to be parents and, of course, raising productive families and having productive kids that will contribute. And, again, there's a lot more, in my mind, a lot more good than it is bad. But the bad will always outweigh the good because that's what a national story. See, people seem to flock to negative information. And again, I want to spread the good news. And the Sue Waltons of the world. And our next guest coming up in just a little bit, Coach Clifford Storey, the athletic director up at Lanett. Those are the kind of stories that I love to get out there. And I love to share with the community because, again, through having a live and local platform like this, a lot of times the great stories get passed by for those bad stories.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's why we use this platform to spread positivity around this area, DJ.
All right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him up. Of course, he is the athletic director at Lanett High School. He's a champion, a two-time state champion. And, of course, he has a couple of kids that's doing big things. Coach Clifford Storey, how are you, Coach? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How you guys doing?
Wonderful, man. Thank you for getting up with us on the SportsVisions morning show, man. Obviously, we've had a relationship for quite some time. I appreciate all your support and everything you do for those kids in Lanett and the surrounding counties. But I just want to say thank you for being you.
I thank you. I thank you for having me. You and I, we go a long way back. We've always communicated and text and talked with each other, and I appreciate what you guys are doing for the athletes around the area. I mean, the things that you guys do in the program that you put on is outstanding.
Yes, Coach, I appreciate that. But the first thing that this is going to be all about you because, again, I admire the fact that you are not only a great leader at Lanett High School, but the fact that you are a great father. You have two sons that are, have earned collegiate scholarships in football. And again, the direction and and I just, before I brought you on, you're talking about all these terrible things that you hear about in the community with kids, but we have an opportunity to, uplift those kids. And of course, they uplift those, the leaders and the administrators and the coaches that have an opportunity to lay hands and touch and pour into these kids. And you know what? You're a father, you're a coach, you're an athletic director, you're a leader in the community, man. Just tell us how and who poured into you to make you the man that you are today.
Well, of course, my father. I watched my dad work 3 jobs as I was growing up. He drove school buses. He worked in the car mill, and he worked at a grocery store. And I just saw his work ethic and how he loved his family, how he wanted us to be so successful. And he just taught me the grind of life and things that it take to be successful. So I watched him growing up and how he provided for me and my sisters and how he took care of my mom. And all those things just stuck out to me. And he always just told me, always told me that the responsibility of a man is to make sure that she got a roof over her head, make sure she got food on the table, and provide her a way to ride. If you can do those things, then your marriage will be successful. So I really took heed of that and watched my dad do those things. And, in the coaching realm, I had a guy by the name of Ike Grant who mentored me. I started out as a water boy working for him and saw the way he just took care of the football facilities, the way how organized he was, and just the way he loved his players. And so, I just always want to be like him. And the funny thing about it, DJ, I didn't even want to be a coach. I wanted to be a physical therapist. And so, as life came and I just realized that I did a little bit of coaching in the spring at Weaver High School with my defensive coordinator from Jacksonville State. He had took a job there at high school, and I started working with him, and I just fell in love with it. I knew then that coaching was my passion.
Yeah, that's awesome, Coach. And we've had some mutual friends, Jonathan Shusky, who we call Buckets, also the great Chip Siegel, who was your offensive coordinator for a long time and was the head coach there for quite some time. But before we talk about them, Coach, Lanett, what drew you to this place in Valley, Alabama? Because, Coach, you're well known and you could take other jobs, but it seemed like Lannett's the place you wanted to call home and grow into the powerhouse it's became.
Well, I'm the kind of person that people say you can't do it. I can prove them that you can. And so, at that time, I was a defense coordinator at Auburn High School, and I was over there, enjoying myself in this job open. And I knew they had athletes. I just knew it just a little bit of structure type things and a little discipline and things like that they needed because I'm from Lafayette, so I was right up the road. I always had an eye on the program. And so I interviewed for the job, and be honest with you, I didn't think I was going to get it because they told me they were looking for someone with head coaching experience. And they interviewed like 8 people, and I was like number 2. So I was just headed to Auburn one morning. I got a call from the superintendent, and he told me that slid me a contract and offered me the job. And I told him, hold on, let me, pray, go home and pray about it. Me and my wife, we prayed over and took it to church, and God confirmed that this is where I was supposed to be. But I wanted this job because people said that I couldn't win here. They said that the kids was undisciplined. I wasn't going to get no parental support. It's just a lot of things that factor.
Ah, man, it always does that when we're having such a great interview.
Yeah, he'll hopefully log back in and come back.
Sometimes you get a phone call at the worst time, and it makes him.
He'll be back.
Disappear. So
he'll be back.
Yeah.
But again, just you already got that was just a little preview of what's to come and the man that he is. And again, like I said, I get excited when I think about and when I listen to people being able to tell their story. And then, you think about the hundreds, the thousands of people that are riding in their cars or that are listening on their cell phones or however they listen to this show, and they hear those types of messages and that type of inspiration. And, it's no telling how many people we're touching and helping regarding, just being a man, being a father, being a leader in not only your house, but in your community. But, Coach Storey is that guy. He's that guy. And again, hopefully we'll get him back here in just a little bit so that we can continue to get all of that great information and all of that great knowledge, because those nuggets he's dropping, man. Yeah. Sometimes, you probably heard him, but you know what? Depending on who's saying it, it might hit you or it might strike you a different way, and it might strike you in a productive way. Let's go back to him. We got Coach here. Sorry, Coach.
There you are, Coach.
It's inspiration. I was just sharing with folks how, this platform, the SportsVisions morning show, it helps a lot of different people. And I know that you're not saying anything different, but the bottom line is you're different. And then again, they might receive it differently. And the bottom line with it all is the fact that we have an opportunity to share that information through it. And I know we lost them again, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It'll come, and we'll continue to do it. But we've got a little time here, and we'll continue to make this thing go.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on, Coach. So we apologize for that. Sometimes you get to technical difficulties, so just keep logging in and logging back out. But you're right. He is I can't wait to continue this interview because his story, no pun intended, is really unique. And what he's done, again, in the small school of Lanett has been incredible.
It has been incredible. And of course, raising 2 boys two boys have been successful at high school athletes, have been on an elite level. Again, one at the University of Alabama that played there, and another one is playing at Auburn again. But let's go back to Coach. We got you now. Again, hopefully we can keep you here.
I know, right?
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, again, congratulations on everything that you've done. And you were just kind of sharing with everybody before we lost you, again, how you took that as a challenge to go to Lanett because people said that you couldn't win there. But you and all the tutelage and all the leadership skills that you've learned from your parents and some of the other people that have poured into you, you were able to distribute that in a way that made Lanett a winner.
Yes, I mean, because, kids don't need nothing but some love. They need some support. And what I realized as I was coaching at Lanett for 14 years, I realized that kids want structure and discipline, and most people run from it because they think that based on their household and, they don't have a father figure in the house, that they're just a bad kid, but they just want a little bit of attention. And so once I learned how to grab them and teach them the ways of life and things that they need to do successful, those kids would run through a wall for me. It wasn't nothing that I would say, nothing that I would have them to do. Wherever I told them they need to be at, they was there. And so it just started to change. And, and I had some kids that believed in me and I believed in them. And then, you start each year by year, you start to pick your leaders and you start to pick the kids that the other kids going to follow. And I always would tell them, I said, you guys set the tone for the year. So when we would start school in August, I would always let my leaders know this is how we're going to do it. And they're going to be the only way. And when we just, were so successful with doing those things, of course, I never hired coaches for X's and O's. I hired coaches to be good people.
Right.
Because I know the X's and O's can be taught. But, if you don't have a great heart and a passion for kids, then, you're not going to be successful doing it. So I always told them, I said, we're going to be their coaches and their uncles and their dads. That's what's the motto that we took.
Coach Clifford Storey is our guest this morning on the SportsVisions morning show. And Coach, I tell you, man, you're admired in many different ways. And of course, not only from a standpoint of being a coach, an athletic director, a leader in the community, but as a father. And again, the same lessons that you express to and teach to your student athletes. You know what? It started right there in the house, because you got two boys, man, that have done some extraordinary things. Let's talk a little bit about their leadership and how you handled them at home before they went off to accomplish the things that they've accomplished.
Yeah, I had 3 total. My oldest son, Clifford III, he played quarterback at the University of Richmond, and then he wanted to be an engineer, so he transferred his last 2 years and finished those out at Tuskegee. And my middle son, Christian, who won Mr. Football, went on to play at Alabama, and then he finished his last year at Kentucky, and he leaves today, DJ, going to the Falcons.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Yeah, so he'll leave today and go up there. And then my baby boy, who got 2 more years remaining at Clemson, he'll graduate in December, and then he'll have another year remaining after this year. And so it was challenging, of course, to be able to go from dad to coach. And it was so ironic that, they would call me dad at practice, and so the kids started calling me Coach Dad. So, like that. It was just things like that. And, you have those kids, because what I did, I took me and put it in my boys, and then my boys put it in the rest of the players. That was just the most unique thing about it. And then, as a dad, you be really, really hard on them. But I learned how to adjust the two, because, I wouldn't ever get on them or never talk with them about the game unless they ask me. Because, sometimes, when you're at work, you want to leave work at home. And then when you're at the dinner table, you want to be able to talk to them about school and their lives and the things they have for relationships and things like that. So I learned how to separate the two. And we was able to have, they had great high school and collegiate careers right now. And I'm very proud of them. And like I said, my oldest son now, he's an engineer in Atlanta. He's doing well. And the other two is Christian having the chance to further his career with the Falcons. And then hopefully, Caden will graduate in December and have another year remaining. We'll see from there.
Well, Coach, I got to tell a little backstory. So, again, I made mention of Jonathan Shusky, of friends with him, and I never knew that I would be fully invested in Lanett football like I was in 2017, man, when he was helping coach. And, of course, once I knew in 2017 and got close with Chip Siegel, I started cheering for y'all when you won it again in 2019. Again, your son was quarterback for those teams, which is really cool. But you talked about hiring coaches that are more than just X's and O's, and specifically talking about Coach Siegel, who's a legendary coach, a legendary offensive mind around the state of Alabama. Talk about that relationship you have with your guys and guys like him that stayed with you through thick and thin, winning state championships.
Yeah, like I said, you got to treat people right. You got to give them opportunity for their voices to be heard. I wasn't one of those coaches that micromanage and want to just run the whole show. I gave them an opportunity to input into the program, to give me their insight. And, and I would tell them, if it sound good, it look good, it feel good, then we'll do it.
Yeah.
I would tell them, if it didn't, I said, no, I don't think we're going to do that. But, I feel like my leadership skills and the things that I poured into them and they poured into me was just great. I met Coach Siegel several years ago through a mutual friend, and he was the first guy I hired. When I got hired at Lanett, he called me. He was getting ready to leave Smith Station, and I told him, I said, hey, man, come and sit and talk to me. And then, like I said, I didn't have to do no board work because I knew that. I wanted to find out what kind of person that Coach Siegel was, and I asked the right questions. And I prayed about it, and I fed in my heart that he was the guy to do it. And he was my right-hand man for several years. And like I said, when I bring people in, I bring them in, talk to them, and they family oriented, and they take care of home, and they love kids, and they want to be successful. And I always tell them, I said, if you work for me and you don't learn anything from me, then I have not done my job. So I've had guys to leave me and go and run other programs, and it'd be so funny. I'll go and watch them at practice, and they'll be doing the exact same things that I would do. And I would just give them a thumbs up, let them know I see them, and I would head on back home.
Coach Storey, I wanted to shine the spotlight on you because, again, as a father, as a coach, as a leader in that community, there was a lot of people that thought maybe that, the kids weren't talented enough. They weren't disciplined enough in Lanett to follow the leadership of and become champions. But again, I want you to reemphasize, because I know you may mention to what was some of the challenges that you had going in, and again, what the kids really needed for you and what they understood when to reach, what you were trying to teach and preach.
Yeah, I had teams at times, DJ Thrift.
Every time we get ready to get to the nitty gritty, man, but the devil is a liar.
He ain't gonna listen. He ain't gonna win this one. Though.
No, he's gonna.
I
He's coming
promise
back.
you.
Absolutely, but it's amazing because he was getting ready to put some sauce on top of that, man. Because I can't wait to hear it when he comes back. Because again, Coach is just a phenomenal guy, phenomenal leader. And again, man, we're getting it here straight, no chaser.
Think about coaching your sons to multiple state championships, them going on to the next level. I mean, it is really impeccable.
Absolutely. We'll go right back to you, Coach. I said the devil is a liar. Those gremlins out there that when
they ain't gonna win.
When we're about to teach some good stuff here, that the devil creeps up, but he can't win this battle.
No, he's not gonna win this one. I had several kids that didn't have any fathers at home. I dressed out 48 kids, and 45 was in single parent homes.
Wow.
Yes, and it was at times to where I would just tell the kids, I said, look, tell your dad to call me. I get them free tickets to come in the game. I know you want your dad to see you play. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get your dad in the stands. But of course, it didn't always work out that way, but I poured into those kids. I brought them kids home with me. I cooked for them kids. I taught them kids how to tie ties. I taught them kids how to hold a fork.
Awesome.
Some of these kids have not even been outside of Lanett. I took them places in Atlanta. I took them places in Birmingham. I took them places in Montgomery. I just tried to expose them to things that they never seen before. And DJ and Thrift, you guys would be surprised how their faces would light up just to see something different. And so, and I was their father, when they would be doing things in school that teachers would email me or call me and say so-and-so, and I just walk in the room and look at them.
Yes.
And they straighten up. They'll get that done that need to be done. And, and I will allow, all of my kids graduated. All my kids got their GPAs up. And all of those that had the opportunity to play collegiate football, we got them scholarships. And those that didn't want to play, they either went off to the military or just went to college and to better themselves. And of course, I got some around here that's still local, but they're working.
Right.
Take care of their family, their kids, and they're doing a great job. So, one thing that I do understand here, I was feeding 4 housing projects, and and they was always bash my kids and say my kids couldn't do this, DJ couldn't do that. But man, these kids was great. All they needed was some love, some attention, some direction, and just show them that they can be successful. It don't take a whole lot. And I always told them money don't make you successful.
There you go.
So they understood that, man, and I just poured into them. My coaches poured into them, and we just exposed them to everything that we could with the help of this community.
And I love hearing stories like that, man, and being more, like you said, a father figure to these guys. Is that more profound to you than the state championships and send them off? Obviously, you're proud of them going to the next level, but them turning into men and great young men and coming back to the school and telling you what they've done, does that make you more proud than the state championships did?
It does, because I know that that the way they're gonna grow up, that they're gonna have a chance to be successful. And all I ever wanted them guys to do was, to be good community leaders, be the kind of people that people want to follow, and I always tell them all the time, I said, man, your name and your word stands for something. Let your name mean something, let your word mean something. And all my kids can mimic my pregame speeches, they can mimic the things that I taught them, they can mimic the things that I said to them, because I want to drill it in them. And I always tell them, I said, don't never say you didn't know. That's why I always told them everything that I learned, stuff that I picked up from other people. And I always told them, don't never say you didn't know, because I'm going to make sure you know.
Coach Clifford Storey is our guest today on the SportsVisions Morning Show. Coach, for as great as leader as you are, as great athletic director, and as great of a head coach that you have been, you had to have, of course, in that community. You didn't do it all by yourself, and I know you're not going to take the credit. I want to give you an opportunity to shine the light or to shout out whoever you think that was necessary to let folks know that, you had some help.
Well, first of all, I want to start with my superintendent. At that time, who was Philip Johnson. It was his first year as superintendent, and he hired me, a young coach, never been a head coach. and gave me a chance. And the principal, Mr. Sanford Isom, bless his soul, he worked over in Columbus a lot. He went on to be with the Lord, but those two guys were very instrumental in getting me to Lanett. And also the mayor at that time, Mayor Austin Crawley, who's deceased now as well, going to be with the Lord. But I sit down with the superintendent and the mayor, and I told them the things that I needed from them to help me be successful here, and they made it happen. We started, when I got here, we had about 2 weight benches. We didn't have no dumbbells. We didn't have no weight. We didn't have anything to train the kids. And Coach Siegel and Bucky can tell you that, we was winging it. I mean, we was winging it. But I started teaching them hard work, and I always told them, I said, it's Rocky versus the Russian. That's what I would tell them. I said, the Russian got all that pretty equipment.
Yeah.
Got to make do with what we got. And I told them, I said, Rocky beat the Russian for the title, right? And they would always, I had to let them know that we're not going to make no excuses. We're going to work hard with what we got, and we're going to get it done. But the mayor and our superintendent got together, man, and they got us a weight room, and then we just took off from there. But those guys, along with a lot of our city leaders, our teachers, I got to take my hat off to them because they bought into Coach Storey. And I had a meeting. The principal allowed me to come in and talk to the teachers, and I guess they were just used to just talk. But I told them, I said, no, I'm not coming in here to waste you guys' time. I said, I'm coming in here because I need you guys to help me, and I'll help you. And I said, we work together. I said, the discipline will go down. I said, the kids will be respectful. I said, you'll be able to get them to come to your house and cut your grass. I said, you'll be young men that you will be proud to say that you teach. And that was how we went about it.
That's awesome, Coach. But then you decided to take on the full athletic director duty. Why did you decide to step down from the football and the grind that is being a head coach and now just be more focused on growing all athletics at Lanett?
Well, because I didn't want to shortchange Lanett. My son started playing more at Alabama, and my baby boy had got at Clemson, and it was taxing on my body. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would coach on Friday nights, and we got game 4 off. I might get home at 1 or 2 in the morning. Get everything off the truck and get everything set up, and then I would go home and get 2-3 hours worth of sleep, and might have to drive to Starkville, might have to drive to Knoxville, may have to drive to Ole Miss or wherever Alabama was playing, and it was taxing on my body. And I just felt like that I couldn't be who I am by trying to maneuver and do all those things. So I just prayed about it. I said, Lord, let me step back and be a dad, and be able to enjoy my boys, doing their collegiate careers and not have to worry about, all the other things. And I knew that at that time, Coach Siegel had stepped away from in Alabama. He had retired, and I gave him a call. And I told him what I was thinking. I told him I wanted to be the one, him to come in and succeed me, because I knew that Coach Siegel knew the grind. He knew how I handled things, how I did things. I knew he would be great for the program. But I just didn't want to cheat Lanett. I couldn't cheat Lanett. Lanett been too good to me. And I'm not one of them coaches that back up to a paycheck. Of course, I had coaches that would say, no, Coach, we'll handle it. You just do you and we'll handle it. But that's not how Coach Storey operates. I want to be the one to lead the meetings. I want to be the one to know what team trying to do to beat me. I want to be the ones to help put in the game plans and the stuff, and make sure that we are truly prepared on Friday. And I could not be who I am by trying to keep doing the way I was doing for us health-wise. I probably would be really sick if I had kept trying to do it that way.
Coach, we got about 5 or 6 minutes left, but I'd be remiss if I didn't get you to begin to expound on the facts that you had made mention to, bringing in people, that were real people that cared about people, not necessarily X's and O's, because you think you can teach that. But again, I want you to emphasize, because you got a lot of young coaches, young parents, you got a lot of young administrators, a lot of young people listening out there, period, that I don't think they quite understand what you meant by that. And I want you to just double down on what you made, the statement that you made earlier about that.
Yeah. What I want people to understand is, as a coach, you don't know everything. You don't know everything. And so you need people that's on your staff and be able to listen to them and take heed to some of the things that they're saying. Because when you're trying to run a program, and I treated Lanett like it was a 7A program. Yep. We looked like 7A when we went out. We dressed like it. All the coaches dressed like it. We just ran it like a 7A program. I didn't run it like a 2A program, because I knew what I wanted us to look like when we got off those buses and when we got in them stadiums. But when you hire good people, it just make everything else go so smoothly. You ain't got to worry about people stabbing you in your back.
Boy, I tell you, man, every time he gets ready to deliver that punch. Go ahead,
There you go, Coach.
There you go.
You don't have to worry about people, stabbing you in your back or not doing the things that need to be done. And when you're a leader, as you delegate people to do things and you give them some responsibility, then they'll get it done. And I was one of those people. I outlined everyday day-to-day operations. I outlined game day operations, and I told my coaches, I said, I'm not gonna hold no grown men hand. I said, we're gonna get these things done as a group. And I said, I'm not gonna take all the credit for it. I'm gonna make sure you guys get credit for what you've done as well. But you need to hire great people. It means a lot, DJ and Thrift. I'm telling you, man, if you hire people that treat your kids well, and then too, I would gather my coaches. We would have dinners at my house. We would bowling. We would take the wives out together, because they were the one gonna be sitting in the stand, listening to all the criticism and how we don't know what we're doing. So I just made Lanett just one big family. We just all loved on each other. We cared for each other. And we looked out for each other. If one coach needed help doing something, we all would go up there and help out, or vice versa. We just made it one family and one love. That's the bottom line. We didn't just talk about it. We did it.
Coach, about 90 seconds, and I got to get this in, is that when you coach or you talk hard to a player, it's not about what you're saying. It's about what people don't, what's that saying? They don't care what you say. They care what you do. And again, I want you to express that to the parents, because, again, talking hard to the players now is not necessarily a bad thing.
No. It's definitely not a bad thing, because sometimes you got to talk hard to them for them to understand and get their attention. I was never one of those guys that curse kids or belittle kids, but I would pull them close to me and I would let them know that what they've done wrong. And it wasn't always done in a mild tone. It was done in the tone to let them know that they disappointed me. You let me down. You didn't focus or you didn't pay attention to the things that we talked about. And I need you to get it the next play. And so one thing about a kid, when you talk hard to them, before they get head back out on that field or before they go home that day, I would pull them in, and I would love them and hug them and tell them why I did it. Because even when my kids were growing up, DJ and Thrift, I never whooped my kids for what I didn't teach them. Yeah. I whooped for the stuff that I taught them that they knew not to do.
Amen.
That's how it was with my team. I hug on them, I pat them on the butt, and I tell them I love them, and they will feel like they will go out there and correct it and get it done. And then they'll come over there and they'll fist bump me or tell me, I got you, coach. And that's all I wanted for them.
Well, Coach Storey, you definitely has taken us to school today. I appreciate all those great nuggets out there, man. And hey, man, keep doing what you're doing. And look, we got to get together soon and have a hot meal.
Yes, sir. That's no doubt. We'll definitely do that and get together. And I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Thanks, Coach.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Clifford Storey.
Man, what an excellent interview. If you want to go back and watch it, it's on Facebook and YouTube, and you can listen commercial free on Apple and Spotify via podcasting. Love that guy and what he did over at Lanett.
We're going to take a break, but we're going to come back and unpack all that great message, man. I can't wait to get back to talk about Coach Cliff Storey. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2, SportsVisions 92.1 FM. This is the SportsVisions Morning Show.
I try not to show how I feel about you. Think it was your way, but we don't really want to.
You're listening to the SportsVisions Morning Show. SportsVisions 92.1.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Aflac, helping people for more than 6 decades focus on recovery and not financial stress. Check out their policies at aflac.com.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-631-9381. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-631-9381. 800-631-9381. 800-631-9381.
Lori's Furniture Express, your expressway to saving.
It's that time of year to come to Gorey's Furniture Express to celebrate and honor the moms in our life. Shop today for that special something for mom, from recliners to rugs to sofas and love seats and even outdoor patio furniture. Plus, you'll get free delivery within a 25-mile radius, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture. Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Happy Hump Day, everyone. Thrift Barringer here live from the Sports Visions Morning Show. Me and DJ Jones every weekday morning on Sports Visions 92.1 FM. And it's Hump Day, already halfway through the week. And, man, these second-round series are going down to the wire, whether it's Cleveland, Indiana, Denver and Oklahoma City, or if it's New York Knicks and Boston, Warriors in Minnesota. This may be the best collection of second-round matchups we've had in a long time in the NBA. And if you enjoy watching it and want to make a little extra money, I got you an app. It's called Prize Picks. You download the app right now. All you do, more or less, on player stats. Very easy to use to win up to $2,000 each day. And if you download right now and use promo code TIGERS, you'll get $50 on your first $5 lineup. That's promo code TIGERS to get $50 on your first $5 lineup. Why not enjoy these NBA playoffs and make a little extra money? It's Prize Picks. Run your game.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Knowledge, wisdom, excellence, service are the core values of Morehouse School of Medicine. To learn more, go to msm.edu.
Minor League Baseball is back in Columbus. Catch Clingstones baseball every night on SportsVisions 92.1. Your home for the SportsVisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer, the Dan Patrick Show, The Herd with Colin Cowherd, and the Paul Feinbaum Show. WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the SportsVisions Morning Show. SportsVisions 92.1. Now back to the SportsVisions Morning Show. Here's Denver Broncos 1987 AFC champion DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the SportsVisions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Barringer. It's Hump Day. We are halfway here, man. I tell you what, headed downhill completely. And again, this is a great way to start our morning. Coach Clifford Storey, man, he gave us a story, no pun intended. He gave it to us straight, no chaser. And again, an inspiration. Again, to start your day off with hearing something so positive from a guy. Again, you know, you always hear, you know, play with the cards you're dealt. You know, and that's one thing. He got dealt a hand, and you know what? He was able to not complain about the hand that he was dealt. He made it work. He made it work, and he went out and sought out people that could help him make that hand work.
Yeah.
And again, he mentioned several people, and that's what you always, and true great leaders always have, have something to say about the people who poured into them, the people who gave them the hand up, because you don't make nothing successful in life. You don't win championships. You don't win, get promotions. You don't win anything without the help of people.
100%. And hearing what he was able to accomplish at Lanett, he says, and I heard the same thing. Like, you go to Lanett, your career is going to die. Why would you want to go there? They got no resources. They got no help. Those kids can't win over there. And he turned it into one of the top programs. I'm with him. It looked like a 7A program. His 2A team that won not one, but 2 different state championships. That is credit to his hard work and dedication.
Sort of do this for me, just because I know we got some people out there that love the conversation, but they don't necessarily understand when you talk about 2A program and 7A program. We don't go ahead and straighten that one out with regards to what he was able to work with and turn it into.
So classifications in the AHSA, the GHSA, there's levels to it on how many students you have. Also, it goes into how much winning you're doing in your classification, makes you move up. But usually it's about the population of your school. And Lannett's not a very big school in Valley, Alabama. And they're in the 2A classification of the AHSA. So one of the lowest classifications. They're really in the middle of nowhere, and they weren't getting a lot of support back when he started. And he turned it into now a premier destination. And they turned his program into one of the more well-respected. When you're getting Nick Saban coming to recruit at your school, you're turning your program into something that's pretty special. And to win not one, but 2 different state championships, both in Bryant-Denny. You know how they used to interchange Bryant-Denny and Jordan-Hare. They don't do that anymore. Both of them were at Bryant-Denny. And it's funny, his sons ended up signing to go to Alabama.
Absolutely. Thrift, I know folks who have listened to us over the years or for any amount of time. They're going to hear about us talking about, the communications between the coaches and us when of course, when we're putting these events together, more importantly, the luncheons, the award luncheons. But Coach Clifford Storey, during his heyday and of course, during his, peak, he would take time out to send me little notes to say, DJ, thank you. I appreciate you and all you've done for these kids. You and Dale both have a tremendous amount of respect for you, and you don't have to do this, but you do, and you don't know how much this means to my kids, to my community. You know what? Little notes like that, man. You know what they mean? I mean, yeah, I'm DJ Jones, and I do this and that, but you know what? I'm still an individual. I still like to hear, thank you. And that's exactly what he was able to do, and we've remained great friends, and that's why I was like, Coach, and he didn't want to go on. He didn't want to do this interview, but I said it's needed. They needed to hear from you. They needed to hear that there are people that have it worse than they have it, and you took a situation, not a bad situation, but it's a situation that you didn't have the resources. You didn't have a lot of support. It was a lot of things that are stacked up against people every day, and even to this day, coaches and people, whether it's on a job, whether it's in a family, whether it's at a school, that think that they have it bad. But this guy, like I said, when he took those cards that were dealt, he didn't quit. He didn't take and chase another job. He was a coordinator at a defensive coordinator at Auburn High School, one of the top high schools in the state of Alabama, with plenty of money, plenty of resources, and he had a great job. But he took a job over at Little Lanett, a little place that didn't have much. He said he had 2 dumbbells and a couple of benches and whatever. But you know what? He took control. He started working. First of all, he brought in the right people. He brought in people that cared he brought in coaches that cared about kids. He didn't give a damn about X's and O's. He didn't give, some guys like to dazzle you with, they know how this, that, and them, and we do this on defense and that on off. He took heed to the fact that, do you care about these kids? Are you a good person? What do you have on inside of you? Not just what you got in your head, what you got on your heart. What's your purpose? And he brought those kind of people in, and you know what? Slowly but surely, those kids from those single parent homes, he said he had 42 out of 48 kids that came from single parent homes. That's phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And that's the part where, again, it's not about where you go, it's what you do with your opportunity. Okay. And that he took it the most of what he was able to have at Lanett. He got the backing. And that's another thing too. And talking about Columbus State AD, when you get the backing of the community from the top down, you can do something special no matter where you're at. Think about when you're at a place that actually has resources or is prestigious as CSU. But back to Coach Storey, I really loved everything that he stands for, what he represents, and he was such a great and fantastic interview.
Oftentimes we say here on this show that, winning on the scoreboard is one thing, but winning in life, that's something else. This guy not only won in life, but he ended up turning that whole town into believers, to the fact that not only did his players believe, the parents believed, his administration believed. Again, he started winning, in a big way. And again, like many people laughed and, never thought in a million years that this guy in that little old town in Valley, Alabama, Lanett High School, could turn around and be the school to be the champion that they became. But again, Clifford Storey, that's one of those highlights and one of those interviews, man. We'll keep around from time to time and we'll play back, and because again, he touched and talked about so many factors that people are dealing with each and every day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the real story that, again, I'm trying not to be, no pun intended with that, with his name, but that's just the message we're trying to get across to people. And the biggest thing I really took away from it too is what he was able to do for those young men outside of playing football.
Yeah.
Being a father figure, showing them how they can make things with their lives. They don't have to go in the same old routine or trap that maybe some of the other family members or friends had went through. He showed them a way to be successful in life. And those are the things that need to be promoted and talked about.
Out of the coaches that are listening right now, and I know there's a great deal of them, just like there are managers and, of course, leads on jobs, on corporate jobs. I mean, another thing that he says, he said a lot of great things. But one of the things that I paid attention to and that I believe in to this day, he said that he would invite his coaches over to his house for dinner, and they would spend quality time together. Now, you know how much time it takes with coaches, your own coach, your staff, with the kids. But even in the moments when, it's family time, he's still, in the early beginnings and even through his, to this day as the athletic director, will bring those guys over because, again, he had to get to know them. And that's the only way. Sometimes you don't just know a person just by being on the job. You can dress up and paint up and say all the right things on that job. But again, who are you really? Who are you inside? Who are you deep down inside? Who is Thrift?
Yeah.
Again, when you ain't all buttoned up, and again, you don't have the microphone on or the red light on the camera doesn't come on. I mean, what do you believe in? What do you think about other people? And that was so important.
What makes you tick?
Yep.
Who are you
Yep.
behind the scenes when the cameras are not on? And what you do in the closet, what you do when nobody's looking, that is what defines you. Everybody can put on a show in front of the camera, man. It's that person that defines you. I think that's what makes this show so unique, is because this is who me and you are.
Yep.
What we talk about here and the
Yep.
way our personalities are is the same way we are off camera, and being unique like that is pretty cool. But you want to give some shout outs, DJ. Shout out to Sandra Vett Shelton. Sandra, enjoy that game this Saturday. We're still giving away tickets this week.
Absolutely.
So make sure to go to our Facebook page. We'll be making a post where all you got to do is comment and you'll get a chance to win some tickets too. Sandra, when you go, only thing we request, pictures being taken and tagging us when you post it on Facebook, saying thanks to SportsVision. You got to go to that Clingstones game. Candy Lowe says, hey, hello, Aunt Candy. Good morning. Mavis Daniels says, good morning. She's related to Damian Daniels. Speaking of that, the Lions got a big game this Saturday. They're taking on Shreveport. They need to win that. They want to make the playoffs. So cheer on. And it's educate. This is Teacher Appreciation Week. Shout out to all the teachers. All educators get in for free.
Good.
So we hope that
Awesome.
they get to come in. Ricky Rogers said, good morning. Please let Jack know that Coca-Cola was invented and served in Columbus, Georgia, not Atlanta. We will make sure when Jack comes on here a little bit that he knows that Coke is a Columbus product, baby.
Absolutely.
Just like Aflac. My mom says, good morning. Happy Hump Day.
Mama Barringer.
And Candy Lowe says that's so important when talking about giving back and what it means to these kids and being real with them, DJ.
I tell you what, my wife had an opportunity to go with me to the FBLA awards luncheon over in Phoenix City at Central High School.
Yeah.
Had it. And again, she didn't know I was going to do this, but when they introduced me, they read off my bio and boom, I had to go up on the stage and get ready for my speech. But in my mind, I already knew that, with her being, such an advocate for businesses and Black businesses and kids, entrepreneurs in business, I knew she would have something to say. So again, I gave them a little double trouble with regards to, I said, you know what, before I do this, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring my wife up. And Candy came up and dropped a bomb on him, man. I tell you, she actually fired him up right. She got the crowd right for me. So again, setting the table. Again, that's another great thing about, having someone that you can trust and someone who believes in you, and understanding that, we have the same interests. That was a big deal.
Yeah, a huge deal. And I'm glad that you were able to share that with us here, DJ.
Absolutely. Thrift, I want to make sure that you understand. And again, it was a shock. I got another award. I'm going to be recognized on Friday. And I'm going to get all the details on all that stuff when we come out of the break, because I just wanted to let the community know, let the people know, especially the people that follow us. Again, it might mean something to others. But again, I think the fact that when we go on and do what we do it in such a different way. We don't do what everybody else does. I mean, to talk local and live with regards to our community, our people, having real people who are involved, like Coach Storey and others, Sue Walton, the great Olympic, or at least All-American from University of Tennessee, from, of course, straight out of Diamond Woods, to come on and to talk about family, to talk about who poured into her, to talk about, again, who she leaned on, and talk about her family. That's people like that. And I guess I'm being recognized, Thrift, for being able to take this platform where nobody else will, and in the way that nobody else does. So again, congratulations. I know that it's coming from Senator Ed Harbison with regards to broadcasting and African-American music, but it's a combination. But I'll have all of that all nice and wrapped up when we come out of this next commercial break.
I love it, DJ. Cannot wait to hear it. And everybody, that's called a teaser. That means don't change that dial and go anywhere.
All right. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2. Sports Visions 92.1. We are your hometown sports guys.
I done came down, hold up, about to swing, roll up, and if your car ain't poking, you're joking, man. I'm from Texas, man. I'm H-Time, player made, yo girl loving my player ways. I'm coming through with them sage just to match my pinky ring. Flipping through, they vibed on when I'm in my.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning, right here on Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. One teen is dead and two people are in custody after a shooting Tuesday evening on Vineville Street. Muskogee County Coroner Buddy Bryan said 17-year-old David Escobar was pronounced dead at the scene just shortly after 6 p.m. Meanwhile, Columbus police have also arrested a second suspect in Monday's deadly shooting at Avalon Apartments. Eugene Mabry now faces murder, aggravated assault, and armed robbery charges in the death of 33-year-old Chasten Hunter. To Alabama now, lawmakers gave final approval to a 1% cut to the state's sales tax on food. If Governor Kay Ivey signs the bill, the tax will drop from 3% to 2% starting September 1st, which lawmakers say will offer relief to families hit by rising grocery costs. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great rest of your day.
Good Wednesday morning. We are off to a wet start to the day with light to moderate showers moving across the region. Temperatures in the low 60s, but those rain showers will start to taper off just after daybreak and staying cloudy in the forecast through most of the morning and for the afternoon and evening with those highs near 80. Tonight, mostly cloudy and mild, lows falling to near 65. That wet weather pattern continues for the remainder of the week and also into Mother's Day weekend.
Don't miss your chance to unlock employee pricing across the Ford family of vehicles at Rivertown Ford in Columbus. Ford has been committed to America for over 120 years, and this is our commitment to you. You pay what we pay. Now through June 2nd, take advantage of employee pricing for all on the outstanding performance of new 2024 and 2025 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Choose from hundreds of vehicles in stock now and save on your next Ford lease or purchase, like the Ford F-Series with incredible power and even more possibilities. Drive away today in America's best-selling truck for 48 years and counting. And right now, enjoy employee pricing plus 5.9% APR for 72 months with $3,500 in additional rebates off MSRP on the 2024 Ford F-150 XLT 2.7 liter with eligible trade-in. Want even more? Well-qualified buyers also enjoy no payments for 90 days. Ford Motor Company, from America, for America. Feel the freedom of choice when you shop exclusive employee pricing today at Rivertown Ford in our Columbus showroom or online at rivertownford.com. Exclusions apply. Please see dealer for full details.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new MiraFast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Look for Mirafast at Walmart today. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Covering local and national sports. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show on Sports Visions 92.1. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Green Bay Packers. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer coming up in, of course, about 10 minutes or a little bit before, actually after that. Jack Johnson, the voice of the Columbus Clingstones, will be with us to, of course, not only recap the victory last night, but of course to bring us up to speed as to, again, all the great things that are happening down and around Synovus Park and with the Columbus Clingstone. Before we went to the break, Thrift, I had an opportunity to kind of make mention and tease you the fact that the Georgia Broadcasting and Music Legend Awards contacted me. Of course, that's an organization that Senator Ed Harbison had us a lot to do with. But I was invited, and I have been notified that I have been selected to be honored. And man, I tell you, I've had a number of awards with regards to primarily athletics, but to be awarded for broadcasting, Thrift, obviously that's another level. That takes on a whole new heights. We've been doing this a long time. You don't do it for accolades, but it's nice to know that people recognize what you do with the good things that you're trying to do. And sometimes you might not necessarily think that they're listening, but you know that they are. And I know that the messages that I get across, not just my own, but those of those who I work with, like yourself, and the others that we bring on, and of course share with the Sports Visions Nation. I think this is awesome, man, and a much deserved award. I'm glad Senator Ed Harbison, who was big in broadcasting himself, we actually had him on this show, and it means a lot to him that you're being recognized for everything that you've done, not only just on our air, but in the state, regionally, nationally, and I can't wait to see the pictures and hear about how the event's going to go this Friday. Well, this shindig will be, of course, this Friday, meaning, of course, a couple of days, and it'll be here locally. And again, I'm looking forward to it. Me and my wife, Miss Candy, we're just so over the roof with regards to being recognized. And again, I've been recognized many, many times, and I often say, if I don't get another award, I'm good, because again, my servant leadership abilities with regards to how I celebrate these young student athletes and coaches. That is my reward with regards to my legacy and, again, my career. I can show you a room full of, awards and trophies, and I'm grateful. But again, this is special because it is in broadcasting, and it is so different from, what I grew up doing. And of course, the only thing that some people, when you come up, you think that you can't transition out of athletics. I didn't have to try and go far because I still stayed around as a broadcaster. But again, thank you so much to the organization that recommended me or nominated me, and I look forward to participating on Friday. I can't wait to see it, man. And this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see who some of the other honorees are going to be too, that you're being recognized with. I bet it's a who's who class, DJ. Absolutely. Hey, man, let's get back to Coach Storey, Clifford Storey. We just got done with, man. It's a lot to unpack, but at the same time, we only have a few minutes before we go to our next guest. But, the fact that we do have those types of talks with the guys that actually put the hands and pour into our kids, and to hear the genuineness and to hear the sincere understanding and care and love, I love it. I love it, man. It's just, again, it warms my heart to know that we still have those kinds of people, and we need more of those kind of people, right? To, of course, because again, this guy went into a situation that, in many situations in communities around in Columbus and the Phoenix City and in the surrounding areas, very much like that situation up in Valley. And, they had this guy, Coach Storey, who was not afraid to take the bull by the horns, to take what little that was given to him, and he took that little and he made it to be something that will give him the fire, the seed, the feed to go out and galvanize these young men in this community with these parents. They believed in him and they trusted him. And that's what happens when you trust somebody. You allow them to, of course, not only express their vision and their training and their abilities to motivate. You get winners at the end, and these winners are those young people that played for him in his program. I think this is should be an example and a case study on. It doesn't matter where you go. If you get the support from the top down, you can make it work anywhere. I'm not hearing any excuses. It has to be a community buy-in and maybe a little bit tougher. But if you get the right guy in charge, like Coach Storey was,
good things are bound to happen.
Good things are bound to happen. Thrift, it won't be long, man. In another 45 minutes or so, you'll be headed south. I know Richard is on the road and halfway there. If
You better be, Rich.
He's listening to you right now.
I know
Don't make
it.
him run off the road now.
He's sitting there shaking as the wheel. Rich, it's okay. You're good.
Yes, indeed. But you guys got some business to handle down in the Gump.
Yeah, going to Montgomery. Two things we're doing. We're going to do the AISA, which is Alabama Independent School Association, private school, what Glenwood used to be in for 50 years before moving to the AHSAA this year. Lakeside School, led by Tony Rasmus, who was a longtime legendary coach at Russell County, coach at Florence. Now he's been at Lakeside trying to win back-to-back state championships. And Lakeside's actually played already this year, Pacelli a couple times, Brookstone, Calvary, and we were able to get them on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. So I was like, well, we got them 4 or 5 times already this year. Coach Rasmus from this area. They got several kids also from this area that's on the team. Let's see if they'll be wanting us to come down there. And as soon as I messaged him, he said, man, what you need from me, I'll make it happen. And that's what I like to hear. He were able to raise the funds to get us down there, DJ. And now we're going to be broadcasting the games 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then 30 minutes after is game 2. If they win both of them today, they're the state champions. If they lose one and win one, game 3, if necessary, will be tomorrow. And then after that, at 5:30 Eastern time, is Glenwood and Prattville Christian. It's the number 1 and the number 2 teams all year long in the Alabama Sports Writers Poll. They're finally taking it out. Many people want to see this in the state, but it's the semifinals basically for the state. Winner will probably end up playing Gordo. But this is 2 teams that used to be in the AISA, were rivals back when Prattville, before they left in 2012, and now they're going to be rivals in the AHSA. Coach Goodson versus Tim Fanning. Cannot wait at the Gump in Prattville, Alabama.
Absolutely. So, again, what time will you finish tonight? Because obviously tomorrow you have an even bigger day when you, of course, come here with me and, of course, host the SportsVisions morning show. And then you'll have an opportunity to sit in the big chair once again at Synovus Park.
Yeah, DJ. So, by the way, Richard just commented, said, listening on the app in Opelika. Richard, if you're on the phone, I'm calling the police right now. You better get off the phone. And I already know if he's in Opelika, you know what he's about to stop at, DJ. Big Bucks. Mm-hmm. He's going to stop at Buc-ee's, no doubt. By the way, you know they're 24 hours, so you can stop at them anytime. But, yeah, so after the games tonight, I'm expecting to get home around 12 or so, get a little bit of sleep, come do a SportsVision morning show, get up tomorrow. And after SportsVisions, got to get prepared and ready for the Clingstones broadcast, filling in again for Jack Johnson this Thursday and potentially Friday. Really depends on when he'll be getting back from his going out to seeing his sister graduate in Colorado. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So potentially could be there on Friday. If not, I'll be calling the Calvary baseball playoff games. That'll be Friday night at Calvary, 5 and 7:30. And then on Saturday, it's Columbus Lions. So a lot going on these next couple of days, but it's okay because Monday and Tuesday I took time to relax, do the honey-do list, and now it's like, all right, time to put the hat on, time to do all this stuff, grind, and then hopefully have a day off on Sunday to kind of recuperate.
Thank God youth is on your side. You only need 30, 45 minutes of sleep every night, and again, you get up and start it all over again. Boy, I tell you, I remember those days.
Yeah, listen, Natalie doesn't agree with that because when I get on that hangry side, I'm hungry, or if I start getting a little ill, she starts telling me, dang, like, go to bed, dude. But yeah, man, when you love what you do, stuff like this, I don't look at it like, man, I got a long day. I look at it as, I can't wait to go call these games. It's going to be an exciting time today.
Absolutely. Hey, don't forget, coming up in just a little bit, you'll have an opportunity to hear from the voice of the Columbus Clingstones, Jack Johnson. And you talk about team players. Thrift, you know what? There's a lot of time, and I know we talk about this from time to time, is that, and I say what's for you is for you. Well, Jack Johnson obviously believes that because, again, you know what? Giving up his chair, and, of course, in this situation, and, again, especially to a guy as talented as you, and, of course, with all the following, you know what? He doesn't worry about that. He knows what's for him is for him. This is his opportunity, but he knows that he has to have be a team player. Of course, the Clingstones know that whatever position or any responsibility, you know what, they have to be able to, and they're professional enough to say, okay, listen, we got to deal with it. This is the situation, and we're going to bring in the next best person. So again, I just say that to say, not only is he a great broadcaster, but he's even a better guy to even have the heart to even seek you out.
I completely agree with that, and I appreciate him allowing me the opportunity to fill in when needed, and I'm always going to be on standby, and I told him anytime I come up to the broadcast, he says it's open. I hopped on the air a little bit yesterday. I did the same thing a few days ago, and It's nonstop. But you know what's funny? I'm leaving yesterday, just going over a few things because I won't be able to be there tonight, and then Thursday it's game time. As I'm leaving, because I posted a coach's show, people were like, "Hey, I thought you were just at Calvary. How are you here?" And Drew Pavon was laughing at me. He's like, "Gary, are you sure multiple of you?" And I'm like, "That's the beauty of technology, baby. I can pre-record stuff, man.
Absolutely.
You'll never know."
Absolutely. That's indeed. Hey, look, let's go ahead and take another break. When we come back, we'll have the voice of the Columbus Clingstones himself, Jack Johnson, with us. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
I get my from California. That's that. I took my chick up to the north, yeah. I get my life right from the.
If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Aflac, helping people for more than 6 decades focus on recovery and not financial stress. Check out their policies at aflac.com.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Then here's a great idea. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Yes, one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program and we'll come and remove your car for free. Fast, free towing, and 24-hour response. You can donate most cars, trucks, or SUVs in most conditions. The proceeds raised goes to help active military, veterans, and their families, and you get a tax deduction. All you need to do is make this free call. Get rid of that old car and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now and book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Donation Program now. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Operators are standing by. Here's the number.
800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. That's 800-890-7021.
Don't miss your chance to unlock employee pricing across the Ford family of vehicles at Rivertown Ford in Columbus. Ford has been committed to America for over 120 years, and this is our commitment to you. You pay what we pay. Now through June 2nd, take advantage of employee pricing for all on the outstanding performance of new 2024 and 2025 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Choose from hundreds of vehicles in stock now and save on your next Ford lease or purchase, like the Ford F-Series with incredible power and even more possibilities. Drive away today in America's best-selling truck for 48 years and counting. And right now, enjoy employee pricing plus 5.9% APR for 72 months with $3,500 in additional rebates off MSRP on the 2024 Ford F-150 XLT 2.7 liter with eligible trade-in. Want even more? Well-qualified buyers also enjoy no payments for 90 days. Ford Motor Company, from America, for America. Feel the freedom of choice when you shop exclusive employee pricing today at Rivertown Ford in our Columbus showroom or online at rivertownford.com. Exclusions apply. Please see dealer for full details.
Knowledge, wisdom, excellence, service are the core values of Morehouse School of Medicine. To learn more, go to msm.edu.
Happy Hump Day, everyone. Thrift Barringer here live from the Sports Visions Morning Show. Me and DJ Jones every weekday morning on Sports Visions 92.1 FM. And it's Hump Day, already halfway through the week. And, man, these second-round series are going down to the wire, whether it's Cleveland, Indiana, Denver and Oklahoma City, or if it's New York Knicks and Boston, Warriors in Minnesota. This may be the best collection of second-round matchups we've had in a long time in the NBA. And if you enjoy watching and want to make a little extra money, I got you an app. It's called PrizePicks. You download the app right now. All you do, more or less, on player stats. Very easy to use to win up to $2,000 each day. And if you download right now and use promo code TIGERS, you'll get $50 on your first $5 lineup. That's promo code TIGERS to get $50 on your first $5 lineup. Why not enjoy these NBA playoffs and make a little extra money? It's PrizePicks. Run your game.
If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Barringer. Happy Hump Day. Boy, I tell you, man, it is great to be on the other side. And, of course, it's all downhill from here, Thrift.
Yeah, it is, man. It's Hump Day, but we're getting your morning started, everyone. So hopefully this is going to be a good Hump Day for you.
I tell you what, just to recap some of the things that we talked about today. Congratulations to CSU's new athletic director, Justin Hay. I tell you what, he's coming in with a lot of credentials and a lot of experience. And I tell you, you got a program out there with a lot of success going on with didn't quite have the leadership at the top that was, again, that was permanent. You know, you had some great interim folks that did a great job. However, now that you got a guy in place who's accomplished, who's been a coach, who's been a player, and who has the experience in a multitude of positions in administration, man, I tell you what, once he again gets his feet on the ground settled, man, I look for the sky to be the limit with regards to the production of that athletic program. Not that they have not been productive, but to take it over the top and be a perennial power. Looking forward to seeing that.
And that's why I asked in the press conference, how important is his relationship with these coaches that have been here a long time, been in the community a long time, understand what it takes to win. I feel like you're just a listening ear, and you're just trying to get as much information you can from them to make sure they get the resources need to be possible. And he talked about that. And I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen, and that the full Columbus State University community can get the entire Columbus and Chattahoochee Valley community to buy into Columbus State athletics.
Somebody in the press conference yesterday, or in the deal yesterday, asked about football, and I don't know why they would do that, but again, they put it right out there.
They did,
and again, I tell you what, they took a nice swing at it, and again, the answer as it was directed to. And of course, I was the one to say, hey, look, we're happy to have you. I know you're going to be doing a great job. You got a wonderful plan, and everybody's, looking forward to it. But on that bucket list, and not just my bucket list, a lot of people want to see that football program in full effect at some point in time. And again, not tomorrow, and not next year, and not even in the year after that. But is it somewhere on the bucket list? And you know what? I asked that question, and the president, Dr. Rayfield, jumped right in and said, DJ, could I answer that question for you? So she right now, again, and a lot of people could say, oh my goodness, that means no. I like to say that the positive side is that they didn't want to expose if they do plan on heading in that direction just yet. They want to set that up and make sure that they have all of their ducks lined up in a row. So I received it. It wasn't the answer that I wanted to hear that she said, and she just said, and I quote, we have a successful club football program, and it kind of pissed Thrift off because again we as you explained the fact of what club football was to what I'm talking about, right, of having a full-blown legitimate Division II football program in place for the Columbus State Cougars. It wasn't the answer that we were looking for. But and then after she said what she said, I did turn back to Coach and say, Coach, your thoughts? And he said what she said.
Yeah.
So again, I think they're in it together, regardless of whether it's going to come sooner or later. That's not neither here nor there. But I believe in my heart, based on his credentials and all of his experiences. He came from Lenore Ryan as a person who has worked in and around football. He's raised a bunch of money for stadium renovations and all of that stuff that you need as far as fundraising and being out front and understanding what it takes to, again, run a successful total program. I think, they have over 23, 24 sports that he was accustomed to being a part of. He wasn't the head guy, but he was still very much involved in a multitude of things that involved, keeping that program together, keeping that program productive. And I think that he's bringing all of those talents here to hopefully one day not only develop all of those programs into perennial powers, but to one day even have a football program that we can all be proud of.
I completely agree with that, DJ. And again, just going back to the club football thing, it's just maybe as an athlete, and when I played college basketball and I heard someone say I play on the club team, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because they wanted to put it in the same breath and really the same conversation as someone that gets a scholarship to go play somewhere. It is not the same thing. It's not, but it doesn't take away from them showing their athletic abilities and having a great time. But we know what we're talking about when we're talking about winning a national championship, getting scholarship athletes, being a part of the NCAA. That is what I'm promoting right now. But I get it. You can just say, when people say you need to get football, you can throw out there, you got club football. But for those who are in the know like we are, we know the difference between a club football team and having a real football team, and what that economic value can bring to it. And I also think Coach Hay, Justin Hay knows this as well, because coming from Lenore Ryan, who has an incredible program and has an incredible football stadium, Why can't they do something similar here in Columbus?
Absolutely. And I say that that's the trump card that they're holding because, again, if you are planning or even have an inkling of a thought of possibility, it's great to have a guy that has already been there, done that, been on the ground floor and seen a lot about the infrastructure of a program that has a successful program that's generating money and galvanizing the alumni and, of course, all the former Lettermen that have played there. So it's just a lot to look forward to. And again, it's not at the head of my to-do list or wants as far as what I want to see out of Columbus State. I want him to come in here, get acclimated to the community, meet all the business leaders and meet all the people that he needed to meet. And again, then they see exactly who he is and how and what he believes, so that if they do commit to a project like that, they're going to take it on head on, just like, some of the other things that have gone over really well in this community. So again, with that said, we wished Coach Hay the best of luck. And then we call him coach because he has been a college coach as well as a college athlete. He's a baseball player and pretty good one at that. I understand. Through.
Yeah. And guys that are involved in sports, coached at that level, played, they get a better understanding to be able to be the head man in charge of what these athletes need, what these coaches need. And I'm hoping that he understands that and then makes the changes or get the resources that they need to be even more successful than they already are right now, which is really successful, one of the top D2 programs in the country.
I tell you what, the press conference was very impressive. The fact that all the coaches on the staff was there, and they should be. Again, when you got all the buy-in, again, you got a new boss that you're introducing, and it makes damn well sense unless you have a health issue, there's no reason in the world for you not to be there. But those coaches were there. The ones that I talked to were very happy and impressed. The fact that they have solid leadership now, because, again, although there was some great, and I say great meaning that there were some people that filled in. And as an interim, that's what you are. You're filling in until, they get to a point where they hire a full-time person. But those interim, those two people that Coach Sparks and the young lady that I can't call her name that was filling in as the interim.
Yeah, Miss Laurie. Yep.
They did a fantastic job. And again, you know what? It was a hard job because, an interim, I don't know if they've been in, I know that Jay knows what it's like to be an athletic director, but it's just not something. And again, to do it, to fill a gap or to stand in the gap and wait until the university is ready to hire somebody else. And again, here it was 2.5 years later, from what I understand, from the interim phase to the point of them naming the full-time, guy, of course, which that being Justin Hay yesterday. Man, I tell you what, that takes not only a lot of sacrifice, but it takes loyalty from those interim ADs to sit in this, sit in that seat and to help make those decisions, temporarily.
Yeah, exactly right. And to be honest, I even go a step further because Jimbo Davis just does an incredible job over there. No matter who the intern was, when you got him on your team that facilitates everything, that helps orchestrate, he was in charge of making the GIAA feel comfortable when we were hosting the basketball state championships. Jimbo Davis is CSU athletics, and the amount of money he's raised and everything that he's done. If you're Justin Hay, and I think he knows this, the main guy he wants in his back pocket and on his team is Jimbo Davis, and that is Mr. CSU himself. So I'm glad he's still involved at my alma mater, and I'm looking forward to him helping Justin Hay get ingratiated in this community.
It was good to see Jimbo yesterday. I saw Mary Sherman as well.
Mary.
And, it was just a great day. It was a great day, good vibe in the room. And the big thing for me, though, again, in addition to making the announcement of the new AD, of course, it was the honoring those baseball players who are going to be away and miss the ceremony this weekend. But you know what? I think that, Dr. Rayfield and, of course, all of her staff and administration did a wonderful job of making it happen where those young men didn't have to miss a ceremony of sort. They're not going to be here for the big commencement exercise that's going to happen this weekend, but they had a special abbreviated form of a commencement exercise where they were granted their diplomas in front of the media and the families that were there.
Awesome.
And it was a great deal.
It was a great deal, and I'm glad that she did that, as they deserve to be able to walk across the stage. And obviously, if they had to pick walking across the stage or playing for a Peach Belt championship. I mean, they're going to pick the Peach Belt championship. By the way, they play this Thursday and Friday against Lander, a 3-game series. They play doubleheader on Thursday and then if necessary on Friday. So let's cheer on those Cougars. And Coach Appleton, every single year in, year out, they're right there in the thick of things as one of the top teams in D2.
And he deserves a big shout out because, again, earlier in the season, it didn't look like they were going to be as successful as they are right now by being there. But not only that, you know what? I saw multiple young men that will be getting their diplomas. It's probably looked like 6 or 7 of them that they honored.
Yep, 7.
Yeah. So, again, to know that you can perform at a level in baseball the way they have, and then those guys are able to finish their degrees, man. That's leadership, and has to do with Coach Appleton.
Yeah, it does, and he has done a great job. Him and the staff, Carson Bowers, Coach Collins, over there, keeping these guys focused. And again, baseball especially, it's about getting hot at the right time. And I've seen a ton of teams that had mediocre seasons. They just get hot and ride all the way to a championship game, and who knows what's in store for Columbus State.
Absolutely. Thrift, I know with regards to everything that's going on, the NBA playoffs, I know that, we're into the second round of the conference finals. It's a different situation. I know Ant-Man, again, didn't come out and play like they got hit in the mouth. Golden State, I mean, even without Steph Curry, they were able to take that over the top, take that victory. And, the coach, by no stretch of the imagination, did he take it easy on Ant-Man, because Ant-Man is the face of not just the Minnesota Timberwolves. A lot of people are trying to give him that title as the face of the league. But, being the face of the Timberwolves, the coach, their head coach last night, I heard his comments. He was saying, you know what, Ant came out a little off and he wasn't ready, but he still has to bring the energy in order for us to win. And he doesn't necessarily have to hit a gazillion points, but he still has to have that energy because the guys feed off of him. What do you think about that?
I agree with what he said. Now, Ant did have 23. He only had 1 point, though, in the first half. He finished with 23 and 14, but he didn't have the energy. He wasn't talking trash. He wasn't playing his game. He was actually taken out of it. And by the way, Golden State lost Steph Curry, hamstring. They're going to have an MRI today to see how long he's out. But those hamstrings, I find it hard to believe he's going to be playing on Thursday. So it could be next week. And Golden State still getting the win after losing him only 13 minutes into the game. Credit to Draymond Green, who played great. Jimmy Butler, Buddy Hield had another big game. And Golden State picked up a big win. And hopefully they can withstand this for a few more games before they can get Steph Curry back. But, man, the injuries, Cleveland losing their 3 best players, and Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter. And then you got Steph Curry that is out. Then you look at the the Oklahoma City Thunder had some of their players out, DJ. So I just the Boston Celtics as well. Yep. Everybody's dealing with injuries right now.
Yep.
So it's about who is playing and who's the healthiest. And this is what I hate about the NBA, because the best time of year is when you're getting all these injuries.
Well, one thing that I do know and I recognize, out of all those teams, all those great players, the Joker is the real deal. 42 points and gazillion rebounds, man. He shows up to play. And again, I just admire what he's able to do with such limited abilities. Yes, he's 7 feet plus, but speed, quickness, explosion, all of that stuff that you would think that he would need to have in order to produce at the level that he produces. All of that goes out the window. That formula does not work for him.
No, it doesn't. And to beat the Thunder, who were up big, and again, this is why I'm not buying in the Thunder. I love Jalen Williams, but he's not your number 2. I'm just not. They're not winning a championship in my mind this year. As good as they've been the regular season, everybody plays hard in the playoffs. That's the one thing that they had for them, is they're young. They got a bunch of bench players. So night in, night out, some of these NBA guys, they take the days off. They didn't take any days off. That's why they won 68 games. Same with Cleveland. But then when you get to playoffs, nobody takes days off. Now you're getting evenly matched games. That's why they lost to the Nuggets. That's a must-win tonight against. They can't go down 0-2 to Denver. And then the Celtics, that's another one too. Every game has gone down the wire in this second round. It has been unbelievable. The Pacers hit another game winner last night. You saw the Nuggets hit a game winner. The Knicks had a game winner all in game 1. These games have been absolutely sensational. Even the Warriors Timberwolves was fun to watch. The NBA playoffs has been great. If you're missing out on it, shame on you, man.
Is it me, the fact that the dynamic duo with the Boston Celtics, of course, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, those guys, have the $200-300 million contracts, between those, $600 million committed to those guys alone. Now, is Jaylen Brown not playing this year? Or I'm just not hearing as much about him.
Jaylen Brown, again, he's been having to deal with injuries and stuff. Remember, he signed that big contract, won the Finals MVP. He put up 22 points a game. His stats actually were down this year, so he has had a down year, and then he's dealing with an injury right now as well, so he's not 100%. Neither is Jason Tatum as well, and Drew Holiday has been overcoming knee injuries as well. They all played. Porzingis out with an illness. He missed that game 1. But if you look, Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, those guys are coming up big. Karl-Anthony Towns, it's going to be another good one here tonight.
Speaking of somebody else that comes up big is Halliburton. Now, we heard with the fiasco when Indiana eliminated Milwaukee, and his dad came out onto the court and had problems. Had a situation with, one of the superstars of the game, Giannis. However, you know what? Halliburton apparently doesn't even affect him. He hit a big shot last night, a big 3, and again, closed the doors, and the rest is history. Some guys, obviously, they don't let that stuff off the court affect them. They get a different mindset on the court, but you would have thought, with what his dad was able to do or what the attention that his dad caused would have had some kind of ill effect, but apparently not.
No, it didn't. And this guy hit another big-time bucket, and with Cleveland having all these injuries and Indiana now going up 2-0 heading home, I think this series is over with. I'm not saying sweep, but I think Indiana's moving on, and they are sleeper pick. I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if Indiana makes the NBA Finals, because you're seeing Boston.
Yeah.
Right now, the team that's playing the best basketball has been Indiana, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers find a way to make it, and that Pacers Celtics or Pacers Knicks Eastern Conference Finals is going to be a lot of fun to watch. If I know you hear Indiana, you're like, who cares about the Pacers? But they're a good basketball team, I promise you. Halliburton, Nesmith, Nembhard, Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, they got good production off the bench. I love this Indiana Pacers team, and they're going to be a tough out for anybody.
Thrift, I wanted to save the last few minutes of the show for more basketball, this time college basketball, because it pertains to someone near and dear to our hearts and dear to this community. His name is Cedric Baker. He's the former Kendrick Cherokee, who has been the longtime coach of the down at Savannah State, women's basketball coach down there. He has taken a new job. He's taken a job. He stepped up, from Division II, and of course down with Savannah State. He will now be the head coach for South Carolina State, right across the state line there. And again, Cedric Baker has been 22 years at at Savannah State, and he's been 32 years as a head coach in college basketball, and he got a promotion by taking that Division I job. Congratulations to Cedric Baker and all the Cherokees who actually went to school with him. They were teammates for him. And
awesome.
Again, the whole city of Columbus, because when kids from whatever school you are, if you're in the city limits, if you're a Muskogee County kid or any kid in and around the surrounding areas, when you win, we win, and when you win, we cheer for you.
Yeah, I think this is awesome. We've had him at the Sports Vision Female Awards Luncheon to speak at, DJ, and this guy did a great job turning that Savannah State program to one of the best in their conference, and now going to take on South Carolina State. That's even a bigger opportunity for him, and he's going to make this city proud, and we're going to be cheering for now South Carolina State, DJ.
Absolutely, and I know with all the great things that he's been able to accomplish, 22 years in one spot, man. I mean, it's cool to do, maybe the 8 to 10 year span, but 22 years, man, that tells you not only did he take a program that was, a bottom feeder, but he was able to, they've been to 2 NCAAs. He won over 260 games in that tenure. So, you know what, his resume and all that he stands for, and you saw the job that he did, the speech he delivered, the way he came across to those young ladies, not this year, but the year before, last at the Female Athlete of the Year Awards Luncheon. Of course, it was the 9th annual at that particular time. He blew me away. I had no idea that, he was coaching and could speak on that level. But we see now why he was rewarded by being announced yesterday as the new head coach at South Carolina State.
I think this is awesome, and I will be cheering on South Carolina State. And this guy's got a lot of pedigree, and He's going to do an amazing job there, and we can't wait to have him on the Sports Vision Morning Show again to talk about this brand new opportunity.
Well, get this. Obviously, recruiting, I'm sure he's going to have to make a name for himself, but guess what? Don Staley's office is only a few miles away.
There you go.
And whatever she doesn't want, I'm sure that he could, based on their relationship, and if I know him like I think I know him, is probably going to be on Don's in her practice or in her facility at some point in time, meeting with her to explain to her exactly who he is and what he can do for those girls who choose not to come, or who maybe they come there or want to come there and play there, but that she just didn't offer.
Right, exactly. And I think being able to get with important people in South Carolina that rub the right shoulders, and if we know Coach Baker like we do, he's probably already ahead of the 8 ball and already contacted her, DJ.
All right, Thrift, I know that in a few minutes you will be on your way to Buc-ee's. Oh, no, you'll be on your way to the Gump.
I may stop at
you gotta
Buc-ee's.
Stop by there and get you some of that chip barbecue, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that is written up. Well, you know what? You can't eat like that on game day because you gotta keep a light stomach.
Listen, and especially when I'm calling a Clingstones game, the last thing I'm eating is a lot of food and drinking a lot of drink because you got a minute and a half between innings. A minute and a half.
So they won't put a porta potty right outside the door?
I mean, there's a bathroom close by, but you know what? The thing that sucks too is that if you try to go to the bathroom and then it's being used, and the thing is up there in the press box, that is only for people that are either in a suite or the press people.
Yeah.
But it seems like the people in the stands have found out about it, and so instead of walking all the way down and going down to the main concourse area, they're like, I just want to walk up here and use this bathroom. That's why they usually like having security up there.
You better quit telling those.
Listen, only reason I'm saying is because I got a minute and a half, and when I go and both bathrooms are being used, Jack was in the same boat. It's like, come on, man. This is the one time I got, and it's still being used.
I still think that porta potty right outside that door is possible.
Maybe have a bathroom inside in that booth. Make that his personal office right there.
It's got to be a portable deal because right now, unless they go under full construction, ain't no toilet going in there, buddy.
No doubt. Yeah, porta potty for sure.
Absolutely. Hey, man, this has been a fantastic day. Once again, thank, of course, Clifford Storey, Coach Clifford Storey, the athletic director up at, of course, Lanett High School in Valley, Alabama. Also, Sue Walton, the 9-time All-American out of the University of Tennessee, track All-American, that is. Of course, we love having her on. And our boy Rich, who's already down there for you.
Big Rich, we'll see you in just a little bit, man.
All right, you hear the music, you know what that means. That's going to do it for this edition of the Sports Visions Morning Show. On behalf of Thrift Barringer, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball.
You've been listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer. Brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. This is Sports Visions 92.1.
I need to give it all.